morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change once again this morning, coming off a bit of a muted session yesterday. We ended the day pretty much mixed. We had the S&P to the downside, the Dow end of the day up about 27 points. We're looking at more of the same today as investors continue to look for leadership in the market as we see big tech names remaining weak once again today coming into the Tuesday session. In corporate news as well, Facebook shares down this morning, even after announcing that they've reached an agreement with the Australian government to reinstate news services and news pages on their platform in that country. We'll talk about that coming up. We're also going to watch the overall market as Fed Chair Jerome Powell gets set to testify for 2 days in Washington. He's stated over and over again and continues to state that he has no intentions of raising interest rates, but higher bond yields continue to pressure equities as well. We're watching Tesla shares this morning down another 7% below the price it joined the S&P 500 at this morning as well. And CCIV, the worst kept secret in SPAC history, I guess you could say, is finally over. They confirmed aftermarket yesterday their deal with Lucid Motors. It's down this morning, a bit of a non-event there. It's Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There's a look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see a bit of a mix showing here once again. We had Australia, Hong Kong leading the way higher, up more than a full percent. Shanghai as well, while Korea was down at the end of the day. Let's go over to Europe and see how things are shaping up. Yeah, more negativity here outside of Spain, the only one posting a gain at this point. We'll shift over one more time and have a look at North American futures here. Yeah, a bit of a mix showing. The S&P 0.5%. You can see the Dow positive again today, but look at the NASDAQ. Tech shares remain under pressure. 1.6% now to the downside. TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.3% in negative territory. Brazil's open 1.8% to the upside. Yeah, Bitcoin 11.5% now in negative territory, while both crude and gold futures pointing to a positive start here. Another day, 2 days in a row, guys. Good morning, where we're seeing Bitcoin under pressure. We got below 48,000 there briefly. It's trying to bounce. I was noting to some of the guys here while we were preparing for the show, every kind of move down gets instantly bought back up. So it seems like it wants to bounce at some point, but maybe looking for a bottom here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, 46 already. There's a lot of names looking for bottoms today here, Brennan. So look, it's Tuesday. It's going to be. I always say it's going to be an interesting day, but there is that feel with 6 sessions in a row to the downside, and there's this little crypto play to the downside, and Tesla trying to find a bottom as well, and now those two are a little bit interrelated. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting teetering act that we have, because on the other end, you have these recovery names, which are a lot of them still strong. I mean, CCL with an offering, so I guess they're down a little bit today. But and then you have earnings with a bit of a mixed board there. We'll look at Macy's a little bit today. Not sure that's going to be necessarily the most heavily day traded stock, but it kind of moves into the reopen play. And then, of course, you still have some of these random. And there's another one today where can't seem to find anything in terms of news on the CTIB, yet it's up 50% anyway. So look, it's going to be a heck of a lot for us to be looking at and trading today on the Bitcoin front. I thought maybe there'd be a bigger bounce at 50,000 than we saw in yesterday's action. It was a deeper pullback than that into 48. So we're going to be watching again and waiting to see. And along those lines, you can go across the board, and I could bring up a crypto name for you, but sometimes we can even look at Tesla here. And they basically are falling into the EV space and some of the recent high flyers, which are coming off and being sold. You have the tech names which are being sold and now tied to Bitcoin, and that's a lot of wins against it. That's why we had that short in there yesterday, and you could see some further weakness. I mean, we're now back down below that 700 mark. You're now talking about where Tesla was, when they got that inclusion, guys. So this is going to be a very, very interesting morning to start it all off here, Sean, and. Yeah, buckle up, because I think we're in for a ride today.
Yeah, well, I talked about it yesterday. Hey, good morning, everybody. And yeah, thank you for joining us once again, the best trading show here on YouTube. So yeah, thank you for joining us. But look, Wow, we talked about it being a rough ride yesterday. I did think that the shorts were going to be in play, and they sure as hell were. NASDAQ down 2.5%, Dow eking out a small, narrow win, and that brings me to Boeing. I'm really glad to see that held up. We did not sell anything yesterday, as it was mostly in the green all day. This is Bitcoin right here, so 58,000. This is just February. So today is the 23rd, right? I mean, if you notice here, we topped out about the 16th, 17th, 58,000. Had a little bit of a rough ride here, but then, I mean, I think, I hate to look at Bitcoin and be like, there's maybe some clusters here because this thing could fall. It's not a stock or anything like that, but it is sort of getting a little more regulated as far as its price movements. You do see big names down every single day. Like if NEO today is down 5%, we seem to be like, firing off the cannons when Bitcoin goes down 10%. I mean, this is what's going to happen with this name, and you got to watch out for them. I think it's a great buying opportunity. There's BTCC over there in Canada that you can buy, and you can pick up some of the other coins today as well if you were looking at that. But as far as I'm looking at AMC. I talked about that yesterday. I said the fair value of AMC is probably between $5 and $6. So now you get even more of a bump today. There still is some Amazon. I don't think that story is going to be anything, but there is some news there. It seems like some of these stocks for the rebound are back in, and we bought some more yesterday. You saw my early play there going long. So I think we'll look at AMC today. And then the one that it's on our watch list, and we will talk about it, but this Churchill Capital, down 32% up here. This is something that is really super scary to me because just a couple days ago, and we will talk about this, so I'm not trying to talk about everything here all at once, but I don't even have my daily chart, so I can't even show it to you. But the point what I was trying to get at is this was cruising, Brendan, 40, 50, they announced it, yay, Lucid, 60, 65, and then finally today it's like, yep, we're doing it, guys. Down 33%. So I guess the deal, as it's in our notes, smaller than expected. But wow, that's a scary thought. It's a scary thought for BFT, which I'm invested in. It's a scary thought for BarkBox, which is STIC, that I'm invested in. And honestly, this is the SPAC world that we're living in. We don't really know the true value of some of these companies. And I think CCIV is another perfect example. I thought this was one of the cream of the crops, and now you're down to $38, $39. So it's on my list. We'll see if we can trade it today. CCIV, Brendan, it's a mind blower to me.
Yeah, so much speculation going into what everyone obviously knew was coming. So yeah, a little bit of a letdown. It seemed even aftermarket yesterday when that news came out. It was just immediately sold. So yeah, we'll talk about that in depth coming up here. Before we get too far into things though, let's go over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the show. And what's very important, please destroy the like button. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. If you're joining us for the first time in a few days, keep in mind we have a brand new home for the watch list. So we are still emailing it out, but that is going to change coming up very, very soon. So make sure you take a second and head over to that link. If you do need the link, it will be in the chat. Valeria will help you out as well. And get signed up or get re-registered for the watch list. All you have to do is enter a Facebook account, a Gmail, whatever email you want, and you can have a look at the watch list. Going forward, let's talk about some things moving around here, guys. We saw, we talked about this at the end of last week, but a bit of a move away from some of these big name tech stocks and into some cyclical type stocks. But the move down continues here this morning. And I want to start with Tesla because, 10% on Bitcoin. We talked about $1.5 billion investment for Tesla into Bitcoin last week. It seems like over the past couple of days, I mean, we don't have a lot of data to work with here, but the price for Tesla kind of being affected with this negativity in Bitcoin.
It's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard, but I mean, fine. Tesla, I don't know if you know the market cap, Neil, but I do, and it's $685 billion. Okay, so they invested $1.5 billion into crypto. So
it's not about the investment, I don't think.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
It's about the sentiment. It's about the nature of Bitcoin being, you can call it a bubble, whatever you want, but sort of the sexy play or whatever it might be, and that little momentum, and then the EV space, things like NEO, and Tesla falling into it as well. You have these high flyers that have been running so far. You have the Cathie Wood effect, and some people are taking aim at ARK, saying, okay, well, if Tesla keeps on falling, are they going to be in a little bit of trouble? So I think it just sort of all rolls into one. I think it's more momentum than anything else. It's not literally the fact that they're invested in Bitcoin.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if you buy buy that argument that this thing's moving around because of Bitcoin, then you have to be buying Tesla hand over fist right now. I mean, it is below. Look, I was talking about it. You guys know I sold some of my piece at 669, which is literally right here. And Tesla did have a big run. And look, if you're not in Tesla, I think you could start building at some point. I mean, I'm trying to get my daily chart up here. Here we go. Still don't have it fixed for this adjusted split. So let's just zoom this over a little bit here. So this is what I'm talking about. Like we're breaking below. We're into this area now, like 600, like 620, 640. Like you're just really picking at straws here. Unless you're investing, 50, 60, 80% of your total here. I think this is a decent spot that you could start nibbling here. Tesla has price targets that are way above where we are now. I mean, I just think that this story nowhere near over, but like Neil mentioned, if momentum's going to keep heading southbound, which I think it probably will for the near term, you may have to stay away from this name. And it's just, I mean, it's coming back down. I think if it does get to 600, that could be a very, very interesting spot there on the daily chart. For now, you are down that 6%. We don't often see Tesla down this much, but it was a little bit of a rough ride. Obviously, yesterday in the afternoon, we saw it go for basically 750, which was possibly another breaking spot, Neil, like we talked about 700 there. Straight down, closes at 715, and then today you don't even get to see that 700 key level that I thought could have been as well. So we break through there, and now you're just down to the downside. So I'm going to watch out for this 671. I mean, that's the low of the day here. I am agreeing with everybody here. The sentiment on some of these ramped up names is coming off. You could see Apple, you could see Microsoft, you could see NVIDIA, everything. All I would say is if you're not invested here or you're light, then you could start to nibble probably in the next couple of days.
Yeah, like if you don't like Tesla, and if it gets down around that 6 to 620, then you basically don't want to own the stock. That's the way I would look at it.
Yep.
I'll show you another chart here, guys. Similar. I mean, MicroStrategy down 7.5%. The daily chart, anyways, looking similar. Back above 800 this morning after starting sharply lower. The CEO of MicroStrategy on CNBC earlier this morning. I think this is actually maybe a positive. I think this is a story that more people can get behind. Talking about the fact that Bitcoin is not a currency and is not something that you should look at as something you can pay for things with, although that is possible. But a hedge, right? So MSTR. One of those bigger names in this sector already trying to get back to the upside this morning, guys.
Yeah. I mean, people aren't walking around with gold bars. So, I mean.
Aren't they?
Well, okay.
I mean, some people are walking around with diamonds.
With diamonds. I was gonna
like
say same thing. Diamonds in their head.
Who is that? Little Uzi or something? Who was that guy? We saw that guy before. A little pink diamond. But
Yes.
You're right, Neil. We are walking around with some Bitcoins in our pocket though, because you can carry around those crypto wallets.
Exactly.
I have no problem.
Yeah.
Look, that MSTR. I mean, here's MSTR here. Like, no surprise. These guys are saying that. I mean, his exact quote, Brendan, from what I'm seeing here, says Bitcoin is going to subsume entire gold market cap. So the gold market cap is 10 trillion. Bitcoin right now, 1 trillion. So he's basically not calling, but saying that we could get 10x here on Bitcoin. Like, hallelujah, that ever happens. We'll see if that comes through. But here's MSTR. It's not really a great day trading stock, but it is a name, again, with, you talked about it, Brendan, their whole balance sheet is pretty much consumed by Bitcoin. So, and I know they're getting investigated. We talked about that as well. So let's go over to a daily chart here quickly. And I don't think they're not getting investigated as if they're doing anything wrong, but just like, are they really a stock or are they really just kind of like a Bitcoin ETF almost? Up to 1270, it's basically got chopped in half here, depending on where we trade today, depending on what Bitcoin does. You can see this thing back near 700. We're at 812 right now. Again, it just depends on your opinion on Bitcoin, and mine is I'm obviously a bull, but I do understand that there are these levels that it has to go through, and there is peaks and valleys. I was holding the bag on crypto forever. Now we're back into the green, like many of you probably are, and no one is selling their Bitcoin, and I think that's obviously a huge problem. And it's going to have these kind of ups and downs. There's millions and millions of wallets apparently that haven't even been accessed in years, all holding like 0.01 Bitcoin, 0.05, 1 Bitcoins, things like that. So they all add up, man. There's only a limited supply. So unlike gold, which does continue to be mined, I guess, Bitcoin at some point does have some sort of a cap. So, I mean, I'm excited about Bitcoin, and I think these are buyable levels now, 48,000.
Yeah, I think the only tricky thing is what are the levels, if anything. I mean, whether or not there's going to be a bounce, I think is certainly true. As far as like an MSTR, like, I've never seen the true appeal of like jumping into the stock for a trade. There's so many other vehicles, which I think for us as active traders are probably, and not probably, are definitely going to be better for us to be in and out of, whether we can trade in pink sheets, GBTC. There's of course the new, in Toronto at least, the new ETF that we're able to trade. And you can look at some of the, like your Riot Tomorrows, all on our watch list. MSTR is, it's a little crazy. You're going to get big spreads on there, and I don't know unless you have some kind of an arbitrage going on with an algo. I don't know if it's good for us.
I just want to bring something up here. This just because it's one of our. I know you're always on this. What's up with that? I like that name. What's up with that? I'd actually never said that out loud before to figure what that was. I think this is more like it could be like too as well here. And I never actually thought about it like this. Bitcoin is not a currency. It's more of property, like land. So I can actually kind of see that actually now. It's more just like something holding, like what you were mentioning, Brendan, something that you just want to put in your portfolio. And yeah, we talked about vision, man. Vision, the infinity stone there, the mind stone there up front. And that's why I was saying, was it Little Uzi, Little Vert? We'll find out. I'm sure Rob will know who that is. The diamond in the forehead. Actually, I'm going to get a picture of it. So back over to Brendan. I'm going to get a picture of this guy that has a diamond in his forehead.
All right, I want to talk about a name. We'll go over to EV World, a name that we haven't looked at in quite some time, simply because the stock has basically gone to sleep, and that's Nikola coming out this morning with an update on basically their plans going forward, how they're planning on getting to a point where they can produce some sort of vehicles. They came out with a number of details as far as where, when, and how they're going to come up with something to sell as far as a product. So Nikola did get a little bit of a bump on that as far as volume is concerned. I mean, not a huge move, guys. We're back above $20 here. This is, as I said, a stock we haven't really looked at for quite some time, but maybe with a news catalyst, something to consider today for Nikola.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. And when you say slumber, like Nikola has been essentially doing like nothing, and then I'll have like just a gigantic move every now and then. I'm not entirely certain that this is going to move the needle today for Nikola. Probably not the best of all days to try to put in the positive, unless we get one of those like rubber band bounces, which if we do, I don't know that, hey, let's go long Nikola through like 2050 or something along those lines. I don't know that that's going to be the way I would play it, because if we sort of turn this slide around, you get a reversal in at least maybe the EV names and some of the tech sector. Well, I would think that there'd be a bigger snapback in NIO and a bigger snapback in Tesla, and not necessarily Nikola. I've never really believed in their model. There was a funny tweet I saw the other day, and they're sort of poking fun at the different market caps, and the version of Nikola was, of course, no revenue, guys. And ultimately, you got to have a product to sell. They're not necessarily at that point yet. It's reflected in the chart. And the thing about this chart is just how heavily the sell-offs come anytime it gets a bit of a bounce to the upside. Like every time the stock is bounced, it is sold through the lows. With the one exception, I guess I should say, with the one exception right here, but this one is essentially falling to sleep. And if it gets below 19 or 1850 to 19, it would be under trouble again. But it's one of those things where it's probably not going to be a place I would jump to. That said, it's been a while since we've been able to talk about it, and there is a level, and I did throw out 2050 because there is a bit of a sort of breakout level there if you wanted to look at it. I can't see that being a good price without some other names which are even better. As I say that, there's XPEV at 37. Wow. Okay, so I can cross off my 35.50 breakout, I suppose, on that one. And like I said, that and NIO were probably way better than Nikola today.
I just want to say, okay, so I found it here. This is what it is here. So apparently, oops, I don't want to zoom it in too much. This is Little Uzi here. So this is a $24 million implanted diamond. Like, you want to talk about putting a bounty on your head? There you go. Good job, Little Uzi, there for that one. And then here's our main man, Vision, who appropriately has a diamond stone. I guess not diamond, infinity stone there. But of course, one is real, one is fake. Can you believe it? Which one is real? Which one is fake? Who's going to put a diamond on their forehead? It won't be me. It'll be Little Uzi. Cardano. Someone said here, yeah, Cardano ADA beats all stocks. Look, I showed it to Brendan yesterday, and he almost fell out of his chair because he remembers when I was telling everybody about Cardano at sub 20 cents. it was 17, 18 cents. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This thing's gone on a bit of a run, right? And here's Cardano. This was only, guys, I mean, I could full screen this, doesn't really matter. This Cardano, it's not gonna work, is it? No. See if we can get candle here quickly here, an area. Okay, that's good enough. We'll go for a 3-month chart here on Cardano. This is what I was talking about. I mean, this is back in January here. 18, 16, 15 cents, breaks out. This was even a good level. I was bringing this to your attention, guys, when we broke through 35. I was talking about it the other day as well with the investment club. And then you're straight up here, big time movements. I did not cash out upside at 110, but right now Cardano, what a big mover here as it continues to run to the upside. And yeah, I mean, some of these crypto names, guys, like to talk about things being left for the dead here on Bitcoin. I'm over a lot of that talk. Like if you're invested in Bitcoin yesterday, then yeah, you're down 8%. Okay, if you invested in Tesla yesterday, you're down 8% or whatever it is, right? So, you know, you got to pick your poison. And yeah, we were talking about Nikola. It'll be an exciting stock. Not crazy. I like a 2050 break. You are right near that 50-period moving average and moving higher, Brendan. So I think Nikola may have seen some bottoms here as long as they can somehow get that Badger going.
Yeah, we have to see some sort of positivity from Nikola. 108, that was yesterday afternoon. We're back below $1 when we were looking at that, guys. We talked about the watch list right off the bat this morning. If you're just joining, keep in mind you do have to head over to this link and register once again. All you have to do is enter your email. You can sign up with Google account, with Facebook account, and you'll have access at your desire to the watch list. Let's jump into that watch list this morning and have a look at what is moving around in the pre-market. We'll have a look at Tesla to start things off, down another 7+% here in the pre-market, on top of about the same amount of a decline from yesterday. So 2 days in a row here to the downside. What do we need to look at here as far as levels, guys?
I think so. The first things first. I mean, anytime you have multiple, like you had multiple breakdowns in yesterday in Tesla, whether it was at 750 at the beginning, which was hard to catch. I mean, unless you were, like really, really quick on that one when it broke. And I was talking about like 57 and 750, and even I didn't get it, guys. And then there was that 35 shelf, which was a little bit easier of a trade. And then you have a gap down further on this, right? So you have these like clusters of sell. And we're essentially bouncing in the pre-market. And I know it's light volume. Well, it's usually light volume in the pre-market. We've done 1.8 million shares in Tesla this morning, and we're holding some of these levels. And if you go with the thesis that there's probably some people that are going to be looking to or start positions, or where do they try to nibble. After this type of a pullback, we hung around the high so long. You now have a real serious sort of a set of down days, and one including the gap. You start to think about, okay, there could be some long trading opportunities. Now, when it comes to real support, 620, 600, sure, great. And if we see that, we can talk about that when we get there. For now, I'm looking at this like 665 to 670 as a pure. If we give a failed short break off of the open, I'm talking about the way that I got into XPeng yesterday, where it just slams the bid, doesn't go any further, triggers people into that short or maybe get out of some longs, and then snaps back up, and then a retrace through like 670 in that situation will look pretty good to me. I don't necessarily love like taking breakouts, pre-market highs on something like this, so I always look to get in at a better level. So I'm not looking for a top-end break. I actually wanted to try that on XPeng, and then that one sort of got away from me there at 35.50, although I overall think there's a shorting opportunity in that. But I'm really looking for that particular scenario. Like if we take out that 665, no follow through, it snaps back up and then can hold an 870. I think that's where, 670 I should say, that's where you get that long opportunity into the high of the day as opposed to just taking the breakout through. Because frankly, if we get back to 700, I'm probably looking to fade it.
Yeah, back to 700 would be nice. Yeah, we'll see what happens there today. I mean, it's just going to follow the market, to be honest with you here. So let's just watch to see what happens. I mean, the market did top down. You can see a couple bottoms here. The market bottoming there, and then a little bit of a rebound here in the NASDAQ, and you're seeing Tesla rebounding as well. I am expecting a red day today, so I will be looking at this 670 break. It's held here, 670, 671, whatever you want to call it. When you're looking at a daily chart of Tesla, I mean, we're already up up and away. We did have these clusters up top. That would have been a decent sign to sell, but the market's been so choppy up here anyways that it's sort of just following right now the NASDAQ, and I think it's going to lead the way. I don't think of any negative news really coming from Tesla other than, like we were saying, the sentiment there in the market heading downside. So I would try to pick anything up if you can get it near 620, 630. I think that's good. And if you're starting to build a position, both Neil, I guess we both said this, that we think that right now is not a horrible time to nibble in. You don't get Tesla down 5% too often. So yeah, I like Tesla, but today I am going to be trying to find some more shorts. Generally, I'm trying to play longs, so we'll see about switching to shorts. Either way, I'm just going to say something. I'm not going to be in this one within like the first 5 minutes. I want Tesla to settle down. Let's see what it does, and then we'll look at some other names in the early on. But Tesla could be a monster winner one way or the other today. I know that's not like a bold statement, but if this market moves, Tesla's going to be the name to watch.
All right, Facebook, guys, this ends up being a bit of a nothing story as far as Facebook is concerned. Last week we talked about them banning news content in Australia. They came out after market yesterday and said they've reached an agreement with the Australian government reinstating news services on their platform in that country. It did get sold. If you remember last week on this news, it was pretty volatile. I think it was this day we had to the downside, but we are negative with the overall market here for Facebook, but a bit of a non-event, I would say.
Yeah, it was. It got sold because Google essentially, I mean, they were facing the same thing. The law was literally targeted at those two companies, and Google immediately made a settlement and came to an agreement. So you figured Facebook was not going to allow it to happen. They played some hardball, but I just think I would say the overall theme, overarching theme that we've sort of been talking about, like that rotate out, some of the tech falling off here, is probably along the same lines, more important than this particular news story. So I would go ahead and say not too big of a deal. Facebook, you can sort of look at the chart. We've been hanging around here and been very, very sleepy at the top. If you look at it the last few months, you go all the way back to last August, and it's basically like this 245 level that's holding. So, I mean, like we said about Tesla, it's just a different scale, I suppose. If it is going to be a red day, or we continue this, whatever you'd like to call it, like slight pullback, it's not really a correction. Then you're probably watching for that 245 and waiting around on Facebook. As far as the day trade goes, I won't see it in Facebook here. And again, this just comes down to the momentum. Some stocks are good to hold and not really that interesting for the day trade. And I don't think this news is necessarily going to move the needle, except for the fact that I wouldn't want anyone to sort of be unaware of this and sort of or overrate it and just say, okay, yeah, this is going to cause a bit of a turn. They got the settlement, it was sold on it, boom, let's go to the upside. If it's a down day, that's going to matter way more than that positive news.
Okay, so how many times am I going to mention Palantir today? Not yet, but there's one time. So you're getting close there. What's up with that? We'll see how many times we mention it. That's one, so you can count that today. Look, Facebook has been like dead money, man. And I mean, I have been buying it. You guys know that, or I haven't been buying it. I did buy it somewhere in here, 272, 273 to put it away for a rainy day, and I don't plan on touching this one. I'm not in love. I mean, look what this has been doing. And I talk about dead money. Like, you can go all the way back to August, and we went from 260 up to 310, or I don't know, was it 310, 305? And then right now we're testing back to these August lows. So if you've had your money in Facebook for the last half year, 6 months, then your money's gone nowhere. They're not even paying a dividend, anything significant coming out of Facebook. They're not spinning anything off. They did have their coin that they were going to release. I think Libra. We'll see if that can do something. I don't know if that's ever going to get steam again. But for right now, man, Facebook just continues to be that dead money trade. And look, I wrote it down because it was on our board to go short through 255. If it does break that level, I think there's something there that we can look at. I mean, I'll bring back the daily chart. It's right here, this 50 period, or sorry, that's not a 50 period. This is a 200 period moving average on Facebook here, 254 and change. So we will look at that one just to see what we're doing. But I mean, for right now, I don't love Facebook. I mean, look at the NASDAQ now bouncing back. I said we'd rather look at Tesla if something like that went down. And now you're starting to see Tesla breaking back above. Watch Tesla breaking 681. But for right now, Brendan, I mean, Facebook just, look how choppy it was today. I don't think that Australian news is overly anything. I'm not sure what percentage of the market they have. It's obviously great that they've reached a deal, but I'm more excited that this NASDAQ's moving back upside, and I'd rather trade Apple or Microsoft rather than Facebook.
Guys, let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades. A couple of interesting names on here. Starbucks, we haven't looked at That's not good. TV just randomly shut off. Starbucks on here, a name we haven't looked at for a week or so, to the upside today on a price target increase. Zoom Info, you remember that IPO from last year? They reported aftermarket yesterday better than expected. HP, Kohl's on here, the real, also a earnings name today to the downside. Kroger and Spotify moving into 80 plus more countries or something like that. 85 even new countries, guys.
Yeah, that was released yesterday, that Spotify news. But Spotify didn't act.
They got there's a new podcast with Obama and Springsteen that sounds pretty interesting. But I don't know. By the way, it was hard to see that Spotify on my program monitor there. Hopefully you guys can see the nice little logo. My chart finally loading. I mean, some of these names you're going to see sort of participating in this pullback. Interesting enough, Spotify still hanging out above its 50 period. So it actually has a chance, if there is kind of like a turn day happening, to bounce in front of it, which makes it one of the interesting names on that list, guys. So I can have a quick look. I actually said, and sorry, to go to a name that's a little further down on the watch list, only because I just saw it reverse at $4. There's CTIB, and I just said in the chat, normally I'd already be short this stock because I can't think of, look, there's no news or anything as to why the stock is up. But it just looks entirely too strong, and I was saying to myself, usually I would have shorted this when it came back below 4, using this level here at 410, and already showing some weakness. So I'm going to be watching this one very, very closely. I don't want to trade this too close to 930, but if I can find something in the next 10, 15 minutes, maybe there's an entry. It's done 15 million shares, hard to ignore, but just notice that it rolled over like 2 seconds after I said I wouldn't short it in the chat.
Okay, so what I was saying about Spotify here, I mean, look at this move up, guys, on Spotify yesterday. We did talk about that news coming through, and yeah, 354, like it just rifles right up to 388 there. But then look at this, like in the afternoon, it's just, like I was saying, the stocks that have been the high flyers, I can call up a Roku chart. We can look here at Spotify. I mean, there's going to be numerous stocks like this. Tesla, I guess, would be another one. NIO. Some of the high-flying stocks just getting beat down because people are just selling what's been working. And when the NASDAQ takes these tumbles, you're going to have big stocks that are starting to head downside. So that's just going to be one of them. Let's check back in on NVIDIA. Like, if you're not in NVIDIA right now, if NVIDIA just took out all-time highs, well, 52-week highs, 614 the other day, you know, and it was on its way yesterday on a rebound in the market before, again, the market was red, remember? And NVIDIA, look at this drop though, guys, 600 to 575, now down to 564. Is there more room to go on some of these names? Hell yeah, there's more room to go. But I mean, just look at what this looks like on the daily chart. Dead money, NVIDIA, and then it breaks out. This is why I like it. It broke out for reasons, right? And now it's coming back down because the market wants to pull it down. So a lot of these stocks, I would say you got to get into some cash now. It sucks because if you haven't raised any, then you sort of got to start doing it. But I would just say if you're on some cash, there are possibilities to get amazing companies here at this 50-period moving average. NVIDIA is going to be one of them. AMD is like, this thing touched 100 on a good earnings report right here. This is that day. And then they just got hit. And now you're back into this area, man, like 78, 70s. Like if you can get a little more of a dip down. Now, AMD is a lot worse than NVIDIA because we're broke below that 50-period moving average, right? So this is in trouble. But I'm loving AMD right now at these levels, like 78, 76. So I think we got to be patient, man. You got to have, what do they call the opposite of diamond hands? Like when you're sitting.
Paper.
Yeah, like you're sitting, well, no, yeah, not like hot dog hands. Like when you're sitting on your hands on cash. You know, it's like diamond hands cash. Right now, I think you got to be a little more patient and pick up some of these on the downside. One of mine would be NVIDIA near that 500. I love AMD right here. And then if you did want another play, look, first of all, I would love Boeing. We'll talk about some casino stocks that I love as well. But okay, you know what? Apple's not going to work because I have this reverse split here. But the point is, Apple off of 144 down to 122. Like you're getting a 20% discount right now on Apple. It's getting time, guys. You're going to have to start digging into some of these names.
All right, guys, let's have a look at the overall market here. We'll bring in Arun and check out the futures. Down 0.5% again this morning, as we've been talking about. It has been the NASDAQ, Arun, kind of leading this tech stocks to the downside. What do we look at here for the S&P?
You know, absolutely. It's been a tech sell-off, really. I mean, today we're down 0.5% in the S&P, and we're down 1.5%, just over 1.5% on the NASDAQ. So obviously there's a sell-off in the tech, but at the same time, keep in mind, in the ES futures, in the S&P 500 futures, that's where I'm going to focus on because that is what I primarily trade. Yesterday, we bounced off that 60, And then I said that there was a decent amount of buying below that 70. I wanted to see how much action there was in terms of, or how much was down there to see if we can actually go long off it. Now, it got close enough and it bounced into the 95s and whatnot throughout the day yesterday, but now we're under that. So if we can get back into that area, I think you got to take a look at the possibility of a sell here. So if we get above 16, just even the slightest hint of selling in that area, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at the short there with 85 as a stop. The reason I choose 85 is because 85 puts us well above that, that range that kind of works its way from 60, 65, all the way up to 75, 80. So 85 sits above all of that. If you're going to play support resistance, you got to make sure that the levels that you're going to work with are in front of your stop points, right? So for me, that 60 to 75 is the range that I'm going to work with. 85 just sits way past that. So 85 is a level I'm going to look at for any shorts. And of course, the extension play is also there for you. So if you could break below 40, then we just continue on down. Most of the sell-off on the futures was pretty much the early European time frame, from the European Open pretty much until 6 a.m., which would be a couple hours or a few hours into the European session. So futures do trade 24 hours. So here we are looking at 50. So right now at 50, not a whole lot to do for me. But if we can get above 60 and just kind of show any hint of selling, I'm going to go ahead and go for the short. Of course, if you get the 40 break, then you also have the extension there.
Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Yeah, a pretty negative sentiment, negative feel here going towards the open, guys. Speaking of negative, CCIV pushing downside as we speak, coming into day lows. Yeah, so the deal ends up being, a little bit, it's not even a lot, just a little bit smaller than everyone is anticipating. It seems like, a bit of a letdown overall, or a huge letdown, I should say, 35% worth of a letdown for this thing. This daily candle, not pretty so far, guys, for Churchill.
There's selling the news, and then there's this, and that's exactly why you look at something like that and say, okay, like I would have anticipated, okay, like 10%. 15%. That would have seemed like, okay, reasonable. You can sort of live with that. When you're off like 35% in the situation, it's almost like my attitude for Churchill today is going to be don't fight the Momo, don't fight the tape. So just let the wind sort of take you whichever way it's going to go. And at least for now, as you said, Brandon, it was like slightly not necessarily, not as big as everyone was anticipating, but I mean not necessarily an abject disaster. I tend to feel once we're past that 25% mark, there can be that rubber band effect. So whether you believe it or not, whether you think this is overvalued and it's going to go down another 50% over the next month or weeks or whatever you want, guys, I'm going to be looking for the top end break in sort of in either way, just because I feel like there's so much momentum potentially. If there is a break on Churchill, there's just so much room for it to come back. Like, I mean, if it takes out, and this high is going to be 39.50. So whether you're looking at that or whether you like an even 40, that's kind of splitting hairs, or whether you look at this little cluster that it's put in here, which I do find interesting, guys. If we hold below, and this is like 37.75, right down where this little level is going to be. I call it like 38. If we hold down here and break from that price, I mean, you can get like probably $1-2 winners almost instantly, potentially on some of these breakout style trades. And I think that's where I'm going to lean to, and then just not fighting it. So I kind of want to play those breaks. Downside breaks will be a little bit of a different story, because I suspect there's going to be some trouble playing that particular style. Like if you try to hit 35 to the low when it's short sell restricted and when everyone's running to the exits, there might be a ton of slippage with that trade. So no tape fighting for me today. I don't like the idea of like rolling into a short or fading into something in front of a level. I'd rather just play like strict momentum on breakouts, and if it has to be to the upside, so be it, because there's so much gap to fill here.
I was going to say, guys, so CCIV, I mean, here it comes right now, just rocking to the bottom side. And people saying, like, guys, SPACs dump after they've been announced. Yeah, we do. And so here it comes. But the problem was the valuation, right, was way off, apparently. So now we'll have to wait to see. I like this 36.30, 36.20 level. I mean, obviously, this 39.50 is a good level here, too, as well. I wrote down 39 just because 38.50 was right here. And I sort of thought, maybe I can zoom in a little bit more. Sort of thought that if we could break through this 38.50, we'd see what it was going to do, and then we would punch the long through 39, knowing that the top was 39.50, and then maybe using like some of these VWAPs 38. So like someone said, Sean, tell us when we're wrong, when we're right, things like that, and some key levels. So I would just say, like, if you're going to punch 39 long, I think you can use this VWAP, man, 37, 38, to be able to know that if you're wrong, this may be back and forth and around today. So I am going to go long through 39. If it breaks 39, maybe even this 38.50, I think I'm going to try CCIV, probably get a little more aggressive and try 39s, or a little more conservative, sorry, and try 39s. But we could get bumped up through VWAP here. The VWAP on the 3-minute is 38.50. So there are some levels there of a little bit of concern. I just did tweet out right now. So guys, if you can, follow it. I put it in the chat. I'll put it again right now for you guys, the link. But I was talking about NVIDIA, AMD, Apple, Palantir there. There's twice now for that name for you. What's up? And, tell me which names you want to buy here on Diamond Hands for Cash. We just talked about. If you guys have any cool nicknames, we talked about Cash Gang there as well. That's pretty cool. But let me know which stocks you guys want to buy on dips. Those are my favorites. I guess I could add Microsoft to that name as well. But there are other ones, man. Square and PayPal I expect to see on that list, guys.
All right, Sean, your Palantir count is about to go up even more because we're about to talk about Palantir Technologies announcing this morning. Seems like a weekly occurrence, or every other day they have some sort of deal. They're expanding their agreement with 3M. So 3M using their Foundry platform. That is going to continue and apparently expand to more parts of 3M's company. So multi-million-dollar agreement here over the next couple of years for Palantir.
So Palantir, okay, so here we go. So that's about 4 or 5 times now. We're not going to keep track because it may get up to 750. Look, I mean, I said it yesterday. I've been saying this over and over again, that Palantir, in my opinion, continues to be that long-term kind of play. It is going to get hit. We talked about some negativity with Cathie Wood. I mean, it's not negativity. It's just that maybe some of her investments are starting to lose steam a little bit here. But again, even if you read her stuff and you listen to what I'm saying, you listen to what a lot of these guys are saying out there, Palantir is just going to be a longer-term play. Like, it's down today on a newer investment and an increased investment by 3M, so the news is positive. But unfortunately, the rhetoric and what's happening in this market continues to show its ugly head a little bit. It did try to climb, and this is why I'm saying about having that, those diamond hands for cash. Like, Palantir down here could test 23 at some point, and it could even break. I don't like that we're hovering around this 50-period moving average. My bear thesis would normally be in on this because it's 1, 2, 3 times now that we've tested this 29, and every single time comes with one of these little wicks to the high side, meaning they tried to get it going, but it's still closed below. And I don't like that. This was okay because this was that big recovery day, of course, that we talked about, that buy on the dip on the 3rd day. But if you didn't sell, like I didn't sell, then you don't capture any of that profit. So right now we're right back to that 25. If you guys remember, though, maybe I can zoom back out here. You know what? Here, let's bring this up here for a 20-period moving average, 20-period chart. This was that buy that we were talking about down here. This is $25. So if you can get Palantir, which it looks like it's going to come down to 25 and change, watch out if it breaks it. It got as low as 24.75, or did it 24.85, something like that. So you got to watch out for this 25 level. I think that's the best plays here on Palantir. I don't let's not get too aggressive and say that we're going to take out any of these levels. But really, a 26.20 break to the high side could be a decent long, but we still have work to go on Palantir, guys. Look, it's getting worse and worse. Look at the NASDAQ. As the market falls, I expect Palantir to fall with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and when it comes to that 25 level, there's a decent chance, and we've seen it before, where if you just get a stack bid situation in front of 25, you might see a dip in front of it. So that's the way I would play against the momentum, catching bounce loss, scalp trades off of bounces at obvious prices with gigantic size in the bid. So that's what I'm going to be looking for if we even sniff that 25 area. I don't necessarily, love the breakout, sort of the break long to the upside. I think maybe I might be involved in CCIV. Actually, CCIV breaking above 37, so watch that 37.50. Could be some good momentum plays there, and just because it's down so much further. But Palantir that 25, it stuck out like a sore thumb. Just keep in mind it did break it, so the idea of that failed break and then coming back right back to the upside and taking along that way, that has to be in play because it worked very well the last time it was down at this price.
All right, another one in negative territory up next here. XPeng, another one in the EV group, down more than 5%. It's lockup expiration day for XPeng, guys. This one still, if you look at the daily chart, trading well above its IPO price. A lot of those people are going to have their first chance to sell some shares today.
Yeah, you sort of look at some of these like breakout points and these clusters that we like to talk about. And we mentioned this yesterday, 37.50, of course, was that first little like dip line in the sand. We've broken through that, and then you go back to its real push. All started really at like 23, 24, but then it's found support at $30. So I would expect in any case that it gets down there, that's probably going to be something worth defending. So file that price away at your will. If the market is going to be weak, it's an interesting day to have a share lockup period end, and that's why my sentiment was going to be to fade this one almost in every single way, with the one exception that I was looking at a breakout long opportunity, which is come and gone. So let's forget about it. I'm not going to take any breaks that are this high. There's just zero chance. It's almost similar to like Tesla. Like if we actually get a chance to come back to yesterday's close at 38, I should show you over here. You're going to see me fade into that short, and I mean, go into the short before it gets to that price. Just use a hard stop up there. It's just going to be worth it to maybe dig in. And it actually might even let it go a few cents or like 10, 15 pennies just to make sure it's broken out before I even know that I'm wrong. Now, when it comes to a breakdown trade, I usually look at previous resistance as support, but I can't really take this 36.50 level with too much gusto, if only because we just tested through it like twice in the pre-market and actually broke it. There's no size there, so I like the price area for an area of interest, but at the open it's a little bit too thin for me. So I'll be looking to fade into XPEV if it continues this push back to the upside, definitely into that 38 with the expiration. If the market sells off, maybe I don't get that chance. Watch out, that CCIV approaching very close to that 37.50, so I might actually have that one with like 15 minutes to go.
I like CCIV, but long through 38.50, guys. So look, it looks like right now, based on, and again, I should have done a poll or something. Maybe I'll do that later, but it looks like Tesla wants to be bought. People want to buy up NIO, Apple, Palantir, Afria. Top Vikings, I'll say yes to that, but that's a little bit of a risk there. I'm going to say yes to everything here. NIO, Tesla, everything. ARK. Okay, so you want to buy the SPAT, the investment, the ETF, basically. That's probably a pretty smart play there as well. ACIC, CFAC. I'm going to find out more about what those are. XPEV, people want. Neil just talked about that. Oh, AMD and Palantir, we do like that as well. Anyways, I'm going to go through that as we go, but guys, join it, add it over here. I'll put it again one more time up on the board. Here comes Palantir back. It does defend that 25.50 level. Look, I like NIO better than XPeng just because of that share lockup that we did that you guys mentioned there. So look, NIO's been getting hit, man, down to $48 again, now $46. I wrote down 48 was a level that I liked. If you look back here on the daily chart, we're well below, and then right here, there's, again, that's why I love you guys, man. The Diamond Hands cash version could sit on them and then pick up NIO down here. Someone said that NIO and Tesla, there's some stats out there that it's a better investment to take NIO than Tesla as a percentage of the moves. So I'll have to find out more about that. I'm going to find that article and just say that if you are in the EV space, the article was saying that just as a percentage of moves, it was something like 7 points up for Tesla and 3 points down for Tesla, but it was almost 2-to-1 for NIO, so slightly a little bit different there on the risk parameter for NIO and Tesla, but I'm going to find out more about that before I start quoting things that I'm not sure about. But I like NIO longer than XPeng today, but both stocks, man, are right at these kill spots, like $46, look out below. Oh, you know what we haven't done yet? It's still 13 minutes to go. Wow, we haven't even looked at the imbalance locator. So there's CCIV, so that's going to create some action to the downside there. I talked about why I liked the long in AMC. Unfortunately, I had to get out of my calls because they expired on Friday, but they were $2 calls, so those were fine. Wish they were still this Friday. We'd be well more in the money. NIO, a big sell. Palantir. So all the names that we like on this list are basically going to be sells today, so we're going to have to wait for it. I like AMC through. I wrote down AMC today. We'll do some more work on that, but 725 on AMC, I think, Brendan, is a decent level here. We did get up there yesterday, 725, and then we faded out. So we got to watch out for that level. 725 there on AMC. We do like that one. And then, you know what? On the downside, it did hold pretty good, man. 660, even held that high a couple days, or this is yesterday, I guess, yesterday afternoon on that rip move there was 660 break. So we have a little bit of levels here to look at with AMC, guys.
All right, there was that SOS on the imbalance locator there as well. Keep in mind, it was a sell. Keep in mind that is tied to cryptocurrencies. So why don't we talk about some of the cryptocurrency stocks here? Just checking out some news on this. So they did buy some more mining equipment, it looks like. So there is a little bit of news on that SOS, so heads up if you're having a look at that one. Home Depot and Occidental Petroleum, two earnings names today. They're both very muted in the pre-market, one kind of up, the other one kind of down. We can have a look at those throughout the session. I want to make sure we get to these cryptocurrency stocks, though. As we saw yesterday, we had that big spike in Bitcoin, the price for Bitcoin initially, and then it got bought back up for the rest of the session. So we have to be, I think, guys, really prepared to go either direction here again today.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of goes without saying. I mean, just looking right now at spot, I mean, we're actually in the midst of a bit of a bounce at 4,800. And I'm going to go to the Mara chart just because I know it's a heavily traded equity name, and it's sort of the same thing for me here with, well, it's not the same as I was looking at yesterday, because yesterday I was looking to see a bit of a dip and then support level if 50,000 hold, which of course it ended up not doing. Like 2 minutes after we were talking about if 50,000 holds, I mean, Sean was saying, hey guys, we're at 48. 48, turn my head, and it's like, that's how fast it happened. And basically we're at that same 48 dip price. On the other end of it here, if 50,000 proves to be a bit of a ceiling, then I would look to this Mara 33. It's just a pre-market high, so you're likely to have a lot of liquidity in that price. It's done like 1.7 million shares, so you know it's going to be heavily traded. Usually the liquidity is pretty good. And the way I would sort of take this is if you're testing the top at 33 on MARA, so we bounce to the upside, and you're following, and make sure you're following spot as well. And we're hanging out below that 50,000 price, right? So we're not really testing it, and then we pull back without getting any pullback in Mara. You want to jump into a short, you have an obvious stop, and it kind of works the other way too. Like if we fail to take out 33 here, and we start breaking through 50,000 back to the upside, that gives you a chance to sort of go long a little bit early before everyone stops have triggered there, and then you can just use maybe find a level like that 49, maybe like 49.5 or like 4,800, whichever you like, on the actual spot price. So I tend to always play Mara as looking for that kind of not really an arbitrage, but sort of like a leading or a lag type relationship where I can sort of get ahead of the move around a key level. So whether you get an opportunity or not, yesterday I had a plan, it never came to fruition because of the price movement in spot. It is what it is, but I'll still look for the same thing today.
Okay, first of all, I want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to Michael Gonzalez. Thank you so much, and you're 100% right, man. History, every single down movement in the market has been an opportunity to buy, right? We were just at all-time highs 2 weeks ago, so yeah, I mean, this is completely a true statement. Do not panic, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not selling any of my core holdings. I'm looking to get longer. Cash gang, guys. Thank you so much, Michael Gonzalez. That means a lot to us and our family here as well at Trader TV Live. So BTCC, look, Neil keeps talking about spot. Buy BTCC, guys. That's what I think. It's down to 950 right now. This is the first ever ETF that's truly following the price of Bitcoin almost exactly. You're seeing it down right now, 7.6%. That's exactly what Bitcoin's down pretty much. I mean, you're going to get some differences here because of the printing here. Like someone got long at 912. Wow, gift horse right there. You know what? I'm going to put some low bids on this thing. Like, Neil, you're here super early. You should be doing this as well on Bitcoin. Like, wow. I don't know. What was the time that these prints even went off? 8 o'clock. So yeah, some huge opportunities down there. So there you go. That's a good strategy. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But I would just buy this BTCC, man. You can see it's it is the very first, it's purpose ETFs. We're going to try to get some people on from this ETF here to talk a bit about it. But if you're trying to buy something that can get registered, it's in Toronto. We can hold it in our registered accounts. We have some traders here that we were talking about, even some on the production team that are concerned a little bit, obviously, about holding coins. You're not sure about your wallets. You're not sure about safety. You're not sure about accessing your crypto. This is an easy way to get at it, man. This is the newest ETF, BTCC.B. It's also .U if you have US cash. So either one, it's in the Toronto exchange. And I like that one for a play. So watch crypto. If you like it, buy some BTCC.B.
All right, let's go over to NEO, guys. We should talk about NEO here. Another one, as you saw there, Sean was showing the chart of NEO. Relative weakness coming back into play here, kind of leading downside yesterday for the EV group. We're lower again this morning. There's no additional news on NEO, but pushing day lows already.
Look, just yeah, I know. And I think it's because, again, we'll take a quick look at the imbalance locator for all of you guys there and girls. It was noticed at 2 million shares, and it's not even pairing off. So this is going to get spicy. We only have 7 minutes to go now, 6.5 to go, and I believe it's growing. I think it was 1 point something last time, so we will check back in about 5 minutes and see where we are. But you could see though, AMC is really the only name on here that's a big bid. Okay, so I still think NIO's the best of the best. Obviously, I think Tesla's the best of the best, but as far as XPEV, as far as Li Auto, as far as a lot of these names are concerned, I would rather be a NIO, but you do get a global warning right now, I think. Just maybe the economy's a little overextended. Maybe lockup is going to continue. We're still not sure about some of these variants. We're not sure about some Chinese accounting and whatnot. We talked about just a couple months ago the delisting of some Chinese companies. And NIO's not, I'm not saying I love Alibaba. We could look at that name. We haven't looked at that name in a long time. But down 10%. I mean, I'm not in NIO, but that's where we go with diamond cash hands again. Where is that? We'll just go boom, because I like saying that now. So we'll have to watch out for NIO, but it is breaking lower and lower and lower, man. I don't really have anything here. Here's a daily chart.
John, I got one level for you, because
Sure.
I like picking out these random, I'm a math guy, I like these random levels for you, but the last time we bounced actually off the 50 period, you had this little settlement a couple of days in a row, closing and open at 44, and you have a high of 66. Do your quick math, 50% up, 33% down, 1/3 down exactly. So, 44 just feels like a level that can be defended from a psychological standpoint. If I see some slides at that price, I'd love to be, taking a shot on that bid. Similar to like Palantir at 25. If there's any kind of a bid there, even for maybe a scalp and then hold type of idea where you get in and out some of it really, really fast, but that would take quite a flush for us to get to that 44 area. And there's a decent chance that if we get that flush, the bounce could come shy of it. So I'm going to file that one away as the price level that I feel pretty confident to buy on a dip as a first shot for the long trade. I don't necessarily love the idea. Look, let's throw out the breakouts at the top end, guys, and then look at this level here, like this 46.25. And if we do get back to what was a bit of a floor, and we can hold above that price, so maybe you get a bounce off 45, you get back above 46.25. I think that could be a nice little area for that to juice up. And I just want to get to this RETO because it's not on the watch list, and I will say this time and time again. If it's on the list one day, check back on the second day. RETO, this was the one where they got a contract for the Winter Olympics. Massive failure at the open after making a fresh high through 360 and then spent the entire day retracing almost 50%. It gaps up to exactly the same price level this morning and fails. So short 340 off of that, short the pop into 330, short a breakdown at 280. It's now down at 250. I'm holding my last short at 279. So now, obviously, yesterday's close can be a bit of a floor, so we'll certainly take that one. But you see a setup like that with that big of failure at a price level, and it gives you the same shot the second day. That's one you got to go for. So keep those stocks in mind on day two.
All right, guys, a little bit quiet. Yeah, day two, definitely a good plan for RETO. A little bit quiet overall in small cap world today. So I'll show you this one. Just sent this out. Blink awarded a state grant in Vermont. So they're going to install a bunch of charging stations in Vermont, it looks like, backed by the state funding there. So we just broke back above 38, trying to get back higher. You can see volume coming in for Blink charging, guys.
Okay, so we're already in the money now. We just take, I saw that note on Blink charging there. Good move. So we did take a 701 long here on AMC. So that's why we hit that siren alert, because a new position here, long through 7. So let's just see what it does. We did take a piece off already, 20% off at 06. Now we're getting close to the open. I do like the 725. We will try to go longer up there as well. And then the out for this is going to be this, I want to say 660, but I think that's almost too far. We talked about it on our AMA yesterday that don't hold like breakouts all the way down to the very bottom. So 660 would be a 40-cent hit. I don't know if we could get to 40 cents. We're going to see what happens at 725. So I really do think that about a 680, 679, something like that, right around here, right where VWAP is, even though VWAP's turning upside a little bit, I do like that break there, 680 and change. I said we would look back over at the imbalance locator. NIO just getting worse and worse and worse here for NIO. Obviously, I like that 44 level, but I like this 46.25. If it does come back, roaring back to the upside, I think we could take that out as well. So 46.25, we already have an order to go long there for NIO. And then the only other order I have is a break on AMC, which we're already in higher than this 7.25. We'll wait to see what the market gives us otherwise.
Yeah, I feel like 2 minutes till the open, and we've done more like talk and analysis than we almost ever do, guys. So if you've enjoyed it, take a quick second, hit that like for sure. And there's right at the end of our watch list, guys, make sure you're checking this one out. CTIB, and I kind of casually mentioned this one had no news that we could find. It's like a nano cap company here, guys. It's just incredibly small, but it's crossed 20 million in volume. I said it felt really, really strong. I didn't want to short into it going into the open, and it just took out the high, 420, well, the previous high, 425, before a little bit of a failure. So one of these right before the open, failed break through the top, at least for the time being, means all systems go for me to try to short this off of the high of the day, as strong as it's been. Word of caution, that's 441. I would not let it go through that price, but I'll look to see if I can get something like 420, 430, a reasonable level of risk on CTIB now that it's tested through the top and come right back down.
26.25 maybe on Palantir as well. We'll have to check on that. A quick check on some of the NASDAQ imbalances here as well. Naked Brands, SNDL on the buy side there. Bio is on there as well. BNGO, I know that's one that's talked about. Other than that, a bunch of no names and not very many shares compared to what we see on the NYSE today. Okay, so CCIV 30, I do like that kind of a break here. Back up to breaking view up here through 38. We'll see if that comes through or not. That's a name that I like. And then we want to look at Facebook as well. That's been pretty weak through that 255 on the downside, but that held, man. That held like a champ. So some of these names getting back to the upside right now. This is going to be an exciting day. Let's see what we can do here with only 10 seconds to go, guys.
Yeah, every now and then my board a little bit slow when I hit the key, a bit of a delay, because the market is opening right now. Randy, hit that bell. We are open. Forget about the countdown. What the heck is that?
He's hitting it with a pillow.
You love me, Randy.
Thank you for that, Randy, I guess. Okay, so that was a pillow. All right, so here comes AMC. Like, no surprise now. I don't even think we're open yet. Hopefully this doesn't break our level before we even open. I don't see any end prints, but we may be open because I do see a big buy there. So maybe we are open here. I don't see, oh yeah, there it is. I do see, so we are open. So here we go, right back to the downside. We take a shot on AMC, breaking through 7. We took a little bit of profit. It looks like, there it goes. So now we're out of AMC. So we flash out on a loser right there. AMC 0 for 1 today, guys.
And right away, I talked about fading into this CTIB, right into that high of day. I got best prices like 38s in front of that 442. So 33 is my average price. We'll quickly start taking some of the wins out in front of $4. Don't look that gift horse in the mouth, already powering it up. I've talked about why I don't short into those moves going into the open, and the second part of that trade is catching the actual failure when it happens. So there you go, quick win, 436 best price. Now we're through $4 already. So sometimes having a plan of action is what you want to do. This is why it was on the watch list. This is why we go over our prep in the morning, so you can see some of these moves and take advantage. Thank you, CTIB.
Okay, so we are back into AMD off that breakdown there. So we're making back what we have. We're making back more right now. So good run there. Look at NEO, guys. It's not even open yet, though, but we go long now at 46.27. This could be a disaster. So we're going to try to get out a little bit here if we can. 46.50, big win. Disaster, no way. Big win here for NEO. Let's just wait to see where it opens up. It's moving. And there goes AMC through 725. We've got it. We took it again, guys. We did get shaken out, but we're back. AMC to the moon. Let's go, guys. A big day already here for 2 for 2 now as AMC turns positive for us.
And watch out, Palantir headed towards 25.50 pre-market lows. It chewed through a massive bid there. The bigger story, CCIV absolutely dying a quick death. And when we talk about getting levels and getting breaks, forget about that 35. With basically almost no chance. I don't know if anyone was able to catch that. If it does bounce back up, 35, the obvious level to play on a bit of a fade. And then now holding 25.50 looks like that Palantir, at least for now. Nope, forget about it. 25 is going to come rather quickly. Got to watch out for that bid. If there's anything there, I told you I want to jump in front.
All right, guys, money coming through right now. It's too bad that we basically hit that very bottom, but we rejected that. It comes right back to the upside now. And here we go, man. A big win for me now on AMC. So really happy with the way this day's turning out so far. We did hammer that. We talked about 725. We talked about 7. Unfortunately, like I said, out there, and we pay about 12 more cents than we need to because we got out at 79, and we had to pay 90s to go long again. Here goes AMC to the moon. We do have Palantir breaking that 25.25 though. Not breaking, back on the downside. Let's watch out to see what happens now if this one breaks or not.
Yeah, I mean, Palantir, that's where my eyes are going to be. It's going to be hard to get away from that 25 level. It's just such a line in the sand, but it turned at 10 without getting a peak. at that bid, guys, so I can have level 2 up for you so we're ready to go, just in case there is big size down there. But I might get into this one a little bit early, start building that position. Brendan, already?
Just looking at FCell, guys, not seeing any news at first glance, but big flush here for Fuel Cell, 14%. Straight southbound, 16.5 down to $15 for FCell, guys.
Look, I am a little bit worried here why NEO's not open yet. So we are long through 46, man, like 46.27, and we were able to get some out at 50, but I don't know what's up with this. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna hope, diamond hands, I guess, again on this name. Okay, so right now Palantir still moving to the upside. We do have these 46.26. Sorry, we have 25.26. I was looking at my NEO price, so a nice little 10-cent win right now for us on Palantir, but we are expecting higher on this one. So let's see. We just held that 25. Let's see if we can get back here. 25.50 takes them off.
Yeah, and by the way, CTIB now almost 70 cents in the money, but XPeng going to be the next name I'm looking at here. It flushed off the open, and there was that 36.40, 36.50 break price, but that kind of happened a little bit too fast. It was kind of right after the open, and stock wasn't even necessarily trading an official open yet. If we can hold in front of that level, and I mean hold downside, I'm looking to short in front of that 36.50. That's going to be what we play next. Palantir, like you said, didn't quite get there. It bounced off 10s rapidly, but back up to this 25.50 level. So that looks like it's going to be a big one. And then Churchill, no bounce. No bounce at all. So went to look to fade into that if it made a bounce. It's now at $30. That could be a, $30 break. I'll give it a try, but that seems like there's not going to be any liquidity down there.
Okay, so we are getting killed here because NEO opens up and then just goes right to the downside. So we're averaging in a little bit here. We did get some out on the upside, but no idea where NEO's going. There it goes, breaks through that 44 like no problem. NEO just getting killed. Look at the futures here, guys, straight downside. Yeah. What's up, Brendo?
Another one to look at, guys. RCL, the reopened stocks, going higher again today. You can see cruise lines, 2.5% to the upside here for RCL. The daily chart just straight higher so far, guys.
Okay, so 43. Oh yeah, I mean these reopened stocks are definitely. I mean these high. Hey, what's up, Valeria? These high flying stocks right now, just getting killed. So we take another bid down here. We're going to try to hold on to some of this NEO. It doesn't look like it wants to work right now. Palantir though working like nicely, up to 25.50 again, guys, and still mooning a little bit right now. Hot dogs here on Palantir.
And watch out, 6.50 right now on Tesla, looking like it's about to get tested. CCIV is making a bit of a bounce, so I'm going to look to fade into that short. And XPeng, very, very similar thing. If XPeng gets a bit of a bounce, sitting on the offer in front of 36, be able to catch it. We're going to look to see if this Tesla bid has anything or any juice to it at all. So far, I've seen absolutely no reason to jump in front of it for a long. But now, here we go. Here's going to be a CCIV first chance to catch a bit of a bounce on CCIV. It would have been a 30 break, but literally seconds after the 30, thinking about a 30 break, essentially shorting in front of this level, this 33.50 to 33.60 on the bounce. It worked the first time. Let's see if we can take advantage of it again.
Okay, so 43.40 here. I mean, if that breaks on NEO, then we're going to have to get out because this has just been a complete shit show on that stock. But Palantir, man, stick with what you know. Big time trade here on Palantir. Just out in the 80s, guys, off that 25 long. So big time movements here on Palantir. Let's see if the other ones can catch up a little bit. AMC falling down, but we did take a lot of profits out on AMC. Like we got some out at 50, believe it or not. Let's see if it retraces back upside as the future's looking to finally go here. Brendo.
Whoa.
We tried to get back up to 50,000 guys on Bitcoin, but looks like it's failing at this point, rolling back over. This one very weak. SOS, we saw it on the imbalance locator there, straight to the downside, coming into these levels from the pre-market, guys, on SOS.
Yeah.
Guys, there was a big buyer that stepped up in front. Like I had this short on CCIV here at 33 and change. I was able to get some out for like a quick 50-cent scalp, working it towards the low of the day, and then just a monster bid showed up out of nowhere. And so I got out of the trade. It's going to get me out. I'm not gonna fight the tape too hard. I said on this stock I would go with the momentum, and if someone's willing to throw like 300,000 shares in the bid when the stock's trying to bounce, I'll go ahead and just get out of it the second half for almost flat, slight loss. I want to go, sorry, that's CLSN. I wanted to go to CTIB for you guys just to let you know. This stock continuing to flush. So it was that one playoff high of day. Now I'm just holding short. I will get back in if we come back to like a $4 range on any kind of a bounce. So far, so good. We're still short at 436, but I would get more if we bounce about 30 cents from here.
Man, thank God for Palantir because this NEO trade just keeps on going down. Like we did a good move by selling at 44. for some reason the trigger doesn't hit at this 43.50 level. So right now we're down at the downside here. Like NEO down 16%. We talked about having cash hands. This may be a great opportunity to start buying as NEO is going to touch that 42 level again. And yeah, on a daily chart, man, this is looking, oops, that's the NASDAQ. The NEO daily here, that's not the NEO daily either. Come on, charts. Downside here, we do have some levels, man, but it's 41. So if you're going to hold that, you got to watch out, man. 41 coming faster than even we want here on NEO. Wow, I don't know what
you can't get levels.
XPEV.
This is me trying to get short on XPEV. You actually see a wick through that price. I mean, so it snapped up. I tried to get short in front of 36. This is me trying to catch a 35 break. So I mean, it literally went down from 35 break. It looks like 75 or so was immediately down to. So the bid is absolutely flushing. I just have RETO and CTIB to the south side, and now there's going to be a chance at that Palantir 25 again. And maybe I think it's likely that it gets even closer this time with the weakness that I'm seeing overall in the market. Last time it bounced at 13, I said 10, it was actually 13, splitting hairs. 25 is the big level.
Okay, so we're going to wait for this to break here on NEO. We're going to try to take a little bit of another long here. Just one more shot. We took some 42.25s. We're going to give this one more shot here as Palantir now turning downside again as well, guys. Down to 25 and change. Watch out for this breaker as well. Give it to us, Brendo.
It was surprising yesterday to see Apple down 3% yesterday. Here we go again, 3.25%. It was 3.5% a couple moments ago. Testing 122, guys, for Apple.
The apocalypse. That's what we said yesterday. But, you know, we can talk about all the ones that you're going to dabble in. I don't think we have to say that you're looking for spots to get into Apple. Look, it's Palantir right now for that 25 level. Just to give you guys a look at the level 2 here, I can scroll down. There is, you can't see it now because it only goes to 01s there, but there was a decent size level worthy of at least starting in position. I have 13s for the time being. I'll probably work to an average price of like 5 or 6 on the initial test of 01s. That'll be the plan at least, and then we'll see what happens. If it breaks, I'm just going to be out. I'm not going to be holding through a 25 break. It doesn't feel like it won't step in front of that sort. And put 1 million shares on that bid right now.
Yep. Okay. So, only 1 million. All right. So we're averaging in that as well. So wait to see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if anything's going to stop these stocks today. So BFT here, this is going to be pay safe. It's down 10%. So we did pick some up at 20s, and right now that's a good one. So what's been a roller coaster kind of day for us continues, man. We're in still on NEO. We're into BFT. This is a nice little 20-cent win or so right now. We'll wait to see where that's going to go. And then Palantir, man, we're still holding out hope that this 25 could somehow hold. It looks like it's trying to right now hold that 25. We are loaded up right now on Palantir, so let's wait to see. But the shit show continues here on NEO, and that just keeps getting hammered down now 18%. Wowzers, guys.
Yeah, and CCIV still on the bounce. I'm going to look for another place to get into this, but Palantir here, I got 06 is an average price. I'm going to start working at it because it pops up to like the teens and then slams right back in. So if you were playing like 1s and 2s to the teens, you would have already made your day, and then now it's going to break down and I'm out of the trade. So it's going to end up being a loser for me, despite the fact if I got 1s and 2s like I was doing the other day, you would have made money like 3 or 4 times before eventually taking the hit. So Palantir through 25. XPeng is trying to battle back to 35. I'd have a look at that one for the fade, but it just feels like CCIV is going to be the next one for me because it's screaming up. And one of the only names I can see that is.
Yeah, I was looking at that CCIV levels as well. It's funny because today yesterday I was like, oh man, it's going to be a down day. Today I was like, oh, this is going to be a real bad down day. Even tweeted that out, and all we're doing is going long. So I mean, I'm not sure how this makes any sense. But we are, okay, so there you go, Palantir out. Palantir almost, you know what? I mean, it's going to be a little bit of spilled milk, but not that much. We were able to cash out really nicely up there. We did take another risk down at 25, but that's only 20 cents worth. So that was, for me, that was okay. Really, BFT continues to go up, taking some nice little profits on that one. Long at 20s there, out 33s, out 40s. I don't know why this got hit down that much, probably on some of this SPAC CCIV news. So we'll wait to see that one. NEO's trying to make moves backside as well. We're long NEO $1 away from here. So this needs to go, guys. What's up, Brendo?
1+% for the overall market. S&P downside. Disney, though, guys, another one. Mentioned it yesterday, kind of trading with the travel stocks. Nice bounce, but pulling back in here to 193, up 0.8% for Disney.
Yeah, and you sort of look at these opening range breaks. I would have loved it if Disney had just held this 94 mark, but it's going to be worth a look at this 192.50 level. I did get in CCIV, watch for 35.50. That's going to be the stop for me there. I know it's less than $1, but I don't want to fight the tape too hard, like I said on this one. So trying this short for the second time with mixed result, won in the first half, lost in the second half. This one is screaming upside on me right now, though. And look, like I said, Disney, if we can hold, doesn't look like we're going to 192s. That would have been a bounce spot for me. Palantir continues to flush. And so that 25, I mean, that came and went, and I should have gone short through that level instead of just only going long, couldn't get the short. I don't have anything to defend until it gets to an even dollar range, or maybe it bounces back to that 25.
I don't understand. Like, I thought I was going, I must have got punched out by accident there. I do want, there we go. So at least I just took another long there. I was long 52s and then long 57s, and for some reason got out there at 60. So I don't know why, but we're going to buy back in now. So we are long that Palantir here finally. And then look, we got to get out of some of this NEO, man. NEO ripping all the way back to the upside now, almost putting us in the profit. So I don't know. We'll take a little bit out if I can get it. It doesn't look like it even hit me upside there. So a little slow on that NEO getting out, but it did battle all the way back to almost put us flat there. It gets as high as 60. We're in at 80s. So yeah, that one has a lot of work to go. BFT though, that's been a nice little hot dogger for us today, as that one's going to the upside, a nice little win. I don't have many to celebrate today, so we will do this on BFT. It looks like it's going upside right now.
And just to check back in, I know you guys will be watching some Tesla. Clearly trying to find a bit of a bid. Now 625, 608, 620 was the area that I was looking at there. So didn't quite get into it, but I guess a bounce is a bounce. If you defended that, it looks pretty good. Let's watch out for that 650 on the way back up. That's going to be the key level to watch. Going to go with, I don't know, we'll go with the gates of hell, because that's what happens to CCIV. Yet somehow I had to jump into the short on the way back up in front of the flush level, so you couldn't get it when it originally broke this 35, 36 area. Able to actually get it when it comes back. Now we're down at 33, so I can try to take a $1.50 after scalping almost $1 on the first half of that trade. Now I get a $1.50, but it was not an easy trade to get into. This has been, and look, this stock just has this kind of volatility, but we'll go with this action as we're testing towards the low. I am going to get more shares out in front of low of the day, which is 31, and I don't want this to turn into losing trade. So as much as my average price was 34.75. I'm going to get out at 35 and not the high of day. I just feel like if we break back above 35 in VWAP, we're probably taking out this little top here at 35.60, so no need to get stubborn with CCIV. A win is a win. Brennan?
Another one in trouble here today, guys. NNDM, Nano Dimensions, down 20% for NNDM, all the way back to these levels on the daily chart. I'm not seeing any significant headlines for NNDM, but another one getting hit, guys.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of things getting hit right now. Okay, so we are dug back into NEO here, but we are into NEO, but we are back now into Palantir. Our average price 24.30. So we're going to see, man, it's going to break 24, but we got to give it a little bit of shot here to see if there's any upside movement at all on Palantir. We'll hold this one close to our chest and not let this one go too soon, but we're not going to let it fall either. So watch out for a 24 break here. It's definitely a slippery slope on a lot of these names here today. NEO tries to battle back. We did get some out, but I still think that this one could run. So let's wait to see what NEO wants to do. But yeah, this 41 bottom is pretty scary there for NIO, guys.
Well, this was the day I thought was going to happen at some point on Lemonade. And we talked about, like, find the names that you have the most conviction in, or the names that you like the best. Also find the ones that you might have got out too early on, or you just thought you could never pay that price, but you want to be in the business. So if we get back to 100, I definitely like this name for sure. And we're only 10% away. Lemonade getting crushed off the open. I don't know why I didn't think of that one for a short. I'm going to be watching that 24 now. It did break on Palantir. 23.90, but it actually has bounced so far. So let's have a quick look at that level. If it comes back down again and holds 24, I jump into it. CCIV for me is going to be, now CTIB is my best stock, but chart did not move. CCIV bounces off this low of the day, which I thought was going to be a possibility. So I did get another out there at 32.10. Bank $2.50 or just more than that on that short trade. I still think I want to hold. If this takes out the low, we're testing 30 bucks. And if 30 bucks breaks, forget about it. I just didn't want to fight the tape. I was willing to trade this in either direction. It happened to be heading downside, so I shorted it. If the stock had gone up, I was probably going to take a long break anyways, as long as I got the fill. Looks like we're going to be right about the short. If it takes out the low, I'm holding through a 30 break, maybe even adding some.
Okay, good. Yeah. So basically, Palantir's right here. We did get some nice little longs at the bottom. Let's see if it works. Unfortunately, though, this is not. Neo just continues to fall. Like, look at these futures, man. Like, we need to be short something. It's fucking embarrassing that we're not, or I'm not, anyways. We need to be something short. I talked about Facebook through 255. Like, where's that thing now? 250, 256. So not even. Facebook goes all the way. Wow. I mean, look at some of these drops, man. Like, I look at this and I want to pick some up, but I mean, the market right now is just downside, like big time movements to the downside. So we got to watch out for some of this. I think there's going to be some bottom picks here. We talk about finding some names that we like on sale here. And yeah, it's not going to be Palantir because we're already into that one. So we got to find something else right now. And they're not really moving around. If there's anything that's overextended a bit, what about Tesla, guys? Tesla's all the way down to 624 right now.
If you liked Snowflake, that's at 250. And it just took an $8 bounce for Snowflake to get to 250. So there's that. And XPeng, this is the embarrassment of my day is going to be XPeng. We talked about, lined up for this day, and we talked about it yesterday about, of course, that's still Snowflake. Thank you, my chart. We talked about this day, of course, the lockup expiration, and it's not for lack of effort trying to get it, but if you try to take breakdown trades and the level goes, there's no guaranteed liquidity there if you use a stop order, so I wasn't necessarily aggressive enough on any of those. I hope somebody had this at 35. I hope somebody had this on the rollover at 34.60, but it's certainly not me. It's trying to make a bottom at 33. I'm not going to be bottom picking on this particular name. I think you'd have a better chance going over to like a Tesla or a Neo, at least in my humble opinion there. I want to come, if only for posterity's sake, I have to show this chart of Sundial. And yeah, there might not have been a better opportunity than taking this break at 127. And it only seems like 15 cents. But believe me, this is one I should have had. If this stock sees $1 today, I'm going to watch for that bid big time. And if it pulls back into 120, I'll probably short that, Brennan.
Last week we were talking about a whole bunch of Chinese fintechs that were having quite the rally. You can have a look at FINV. Finvolution was one of those. You remember this move up. We're all the way back down, guys. Just broke $5 for FINV as well.
Look, I'm taking some, okay, we'll look at Finvolution. I'm just letting you guys know I'm taking this profit, man, on Palantir. I don't know. I mean, with this market, I don't know how much this is going to come back. So Palantir, we're going to take some out there off of our 37 long. I mean, now it says 18, but our average price was 36 in here. So that was turning out to be a decent trade here for us for sure on that name. Ether, Bitcoin just continuing to get pummeled here. So you can look at something as well. Bitcoin back down to 46 and change. So look at Mara, look at Riot, look at some kind of blockchain names. But okay, now Palantir's starting to go a little bit at least. So good on that one. And then bad on Neo, as this name just continues to be a shit show for me as well.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys my daily chart now not loading up there. I'm moving around from a lot of stocks here, but Virgin Galactic you can have for under $40 today. Now, I look personally, 25 is the only price I've ever liked, so I might wait a few days on this one if we're going to continue to fall, maybe even a few weeks. But how is it already time to go to Miss V at the big screen? She's got a little something for us here, guys.
Hey guys, while most of stocks are negative, SQQQ ETF goes to the moon and it's popular on the chat right now. So could you take a look and share your thoughts on SQQQ?
Very simple. For a lot of you guys that don't have the ability to short, you're going to go the inverse ETF and you grab that to the long side. I think that shows a heavy level of awareness, and I want to give credit to Sean, because I know at least a few times we've mentioned that on the show. For some of you guys that can't go short, have a quick look at that. We've been talking about how you have to have some short opportunities in the market, but if I can quickly just show you the NASDAQ made a bit of a bounce here, 12.75. Of course, if you're looking at the Qs, it's the NASDAQ. I look at the actual futures contract here, and we are making a slight bounce also in the ES. So when you look at Palantir back at 25, we showed you Snowflake bouncing. Tesla was actually trying and failing. It's a bit of a muted pushback so far, and I do think if we can't get, sort of past this little hump here at 12,850, you could see another leg to the downside here, but the ES actually rallying a little bit better than the NASDAQ right now off the bottom. Brennan?
Just had an alert on this one. Blink charging back to the upside. Yeah, they sold that move higher. We were talking about the news in Vermont through 38 right at the open, all the way down to 33. $5 move on Blink, guys. Big bounce, though. Back to 35 now for Blink.
All right, guys, and finally we got some hot dogs here as well for Palantir, like a big 75-cent win right now. We tested QS long, we got out of a little bit, but now we're still long on QS, and this is an 85-cent win right now as well. So a little bit of a battle back here in the market makes it nice for me, that's for sure. As we start seeing NEO now going back upside as well, that's a good trade. We're finally back into the money on this one. It's been a horrible trade on the downside, but we are starting to take some profits because I mean, I don't expect it to go all the way back, but down that 17, 18%, a good opportunity to buy some NEO there. And I feel bad because we talked about Tesla at 624. You see where it is right now, guys, 640. So that was a good buy as well.
Oh my goodness, I just said Virgin Galactic at 40 and now it's at like 41. Like absolutely crazy. But Tesla,
$1?
Not quite 650.
Yeah,
650
almost.
I think is going to be that interesting level. You want to catch a bid. We'll go to Brennan, come back in a second. We'll take a look at Snowflake.
Yeah, a lot of these things making a bottom at this point. Just saw this one, Lee Auto, guys, popping up on huge volume through 24. So another one starting to bounce. Lee Auto, guys.
Okay, so yeah, Lee Auto, yeah, and that's why I'm really fucking happy with finally NEO going upside there. We just take out some more 25s there on Palantir, so that's a good out there at 25. It's right at VWAP. We're very, very light now. We're holding some in case we do get that shot that we're looking for here on NIO, guys.
Yeah, and if I fade into something that's going to the upside and don't round into a long, it's likely to be a XPeng. But I'm very interested in Snowflake holding above this 250 area. Now that should be, you're still kind of heading back up in the market. It has had a couple of pullbacks that have just gotten bought. The last one just shy of that sort of 248, so just above or below that 250 mark. So if I can catch any kind of a bid in front of a 250, I'm looking for Snowflake for a bit of a buy. As I just mentioned, if I can catch in front of 35 on XPEV,
Cash me
that's
outside.
probably the only
Let's
level I would
go.
look at. It's screaming into that level right now, absolutely screaming into it.
Let's go, guys. I mean, this is another one. We're spinning it today, man. I've made back like a lot of money here that I've lost in the first couple minutes. So big time movements upside now. $2 in the money. Let's go. Woohoo! There. Go to a name. Oops. Go to a name that you trust, man. QS. This name was just got beat down, boy, all the way down, and we know that 50 is a level, so we take that long. NEO now $1 in the money, guys. Let's just keep on taking some shares out here. Things going well for us right now, that's for sure. We've made back a hell of a lot there. We did stumble early, but on this rebound, we did load up some trades. Now we got $1 on NEO, lots of money on Palantir, and then $2 on QS, guys.
Yeah, and that level, I'm going to have to give it like 10, 15 cents on that XPeng because it breaks, essentially goes like 2 pennies and then comes right back. Now I'm also watching Tesla here because as that rounds to 350, I don't want Tesla breaking 350 and I'm still short XPeng, so I just got right back in at 96 and what I had the first time. Last time I got out when it broke 35. This time I'm going to actually hold through, give it like 10, 15 pennies. If Tesla reverses, XPeng could be a great short, Brendan.
Yeah, 100 handle move there from where we were in the pre-market on the ES, guys. Another one making a big bounce. Twilio, we've been talking about the past couple of days. 375 back up to 390 for Twilio.
Yes, sir. Yes. I'm loving everything right now. We got to get out some more NEO here as we go. Just cashing out some more NEO. Long 43.14 now. We had to absorb a whole shit ton of moves to the downside. But yeah, we tried to have a little bit. Oh, here. Now we can use some diamond hands here. Some diamond hands made me back more than double what I was down. So yeah, diamond hands here today for sure. Making that money back on NIO. So that's been a good one. We've been playing some Ether a little bit here. ETHE as it's been moving down. A couple shorts, a couple longs now, nothing really to talk about there. But Palantir, what a big move that one is. Thank God on that one. We'll go diamond hands again on Palantir, buying these 24s. What a great trade that's turned out to be.
Yeah, I'm just going to come back over to what ended up being a sleepy and like moonwalking trade to the downside, but I was trying to get more of this CTIB, and while all that madness was going on, it actually gave you a shot at 390. I was waiting at 392 to get that dip. It's now at 350, so I still only have that last entry at 436 off the open. That was the plan all morning long, but definitely got to get back into this one if it retests VWAP. It will no longer be 390, so we can go ahead and cancel that. It'll likely be this 375 to 380 area if I have to sell into any further push to the upside. XPeng tests again that level, so a couple of times, and we'll scalp shorts, and they'll both be losses for me. So if I got a losing stock, I don't mind if it's going to be a shorting on XPEV today. It is going to still have to test that 37 high. I saw someone mentioning eliminating the chat, and it's like, so we're cycling through like a couple of these names, one after another, and these 10% bounces have all come through. Just watch out, because the market is slowing down a little bit on these bounce plays. And the rubber band effect certainly in full effect with some of these lows here, whether with Snowflake or Lemonades, Virgin Galactic. A lot of these are making fantastic bounces, including CCIV, which was $4 in the money on my last quarter. It's now only $1 in the money.
Yeah, you picked up a nice little bomb. I don't know why my CCIV didn't hit there, but yeah, we go bullish today, man. And it was a big mistake, but wow, are we making money back? Like, wowzers. Just wish we would have loaded up at the bottoms, but what are we going to do? Look at QS, guys. Walking on water right now. QS, long 52.50. So that's a $3 win up to 56.50. I think this is probably worth getting out, man. It's a big run up now in the market. We're just running things. NEO's $2 in the money. Palantir's $1.50 in the money. QS is $3.50 in the money. Big day alert. Just too bad we screwed up so badly off the open, but man, this is a big day. Your boy's happy once again, guys. Big turnaround for me today. I can't be more happy. We've made back more money than I can even tell you that we were down. So thank God for that one. A big move back today.
And another name which, look, we told you guys probably not going to make a move today on the news, and Nikola, and the reason we brought it to you, the market was going to dictate. That's why I say don't buy on this news on Nikola, please. But this also caught a bit of a bounce, and I don't mind fading Nikola if I get an opportunity to do so, and I think right here through 19 could be the place. It just bounced to 19.20, so easy out there, I think, on that level. Oh, yeah, so it actually just ticked down and broke for like a split second, getting me filled actually at 19.01. So I'm not even sure 19 broke there. Either way, I would give this one to like a 19.20. It's like a little VWAP retracement type of play. But Nikola, I ignore that somewhat positive news that they had this morning, and we talked about that in the pre-market. It did go past 10% of the downside, so a lot of stocks will be short sell restricted. Meaning you're going to have to wait for an uptick to hit that bid. In this particular case, I didn't get the fill. First target will be down around this 1870 and then work it to like an 1830, 1840 area.
So we're just getting out now of everything, man. $1.65 win here, $1.50 on Palantir, putting everything back to the positive land. So hallelujah on that one. Thank God, Palantir, man. Like, it's unbelievable that it's almost above. Well, it actually is above where we opened it now. So Palantir now back above. What a bottom that was. And again, I don't know what else we could do, but I did talk about this bottom here, 23. We didn't get to there, but 24, like that's a key level, man. Follow me on Twitter. We did talk all about those levels before. So a good little bounce back in PLTR now and a big move there. $1.70 in the money on NEO, but we did get out of this NEO at the top side right now, just thinking that it's going to fade back. So 44.60, 44.80, maybe a kill spot there. And then QS, I have an offer right here. We'll see if we can't get out right now on QS. Maybe it's going to rip even more as the future's going. So cancel that. Let's go QS. A $3 winner on QS today. It wasn't a good one, but if you've been watching me the last 10 minutes, you're rich. Brendan at the big screen. Let's go, bud.
Hey guys, yeah, pretty negative to start. Let's have a look at North American markets here. You can see it's actually the Russell leading. We've been talking about the Russell at all-time highs over the past week and a half or so. Finally getting that decent sized pullback here. 3.2% for the Russell, the NASDAQ 2.5% between the composite and the 100. So again today, tech stocks in trouble. The Dow 1%, the S&P 1.3%. Even here in Toronto, the TSX about 1.3, 1.4%. The Bovespa down in Brazil still hanging on to a gain, up about 0.5% at this point. Couple things from the watch list to keep in mind. Look at the daily chart on this Silvergate Capital Bitcoin stock here to the downside. Big flush, 145 to 100. Starting to bounce here back to 120 on SI. Very thin though, so be careful if you're trading that one. We didn't really talk about it in the pre-market, but Home Depot earnings were good. They did warn about what is to come in this full year. So straight southbound, 270 down to 260 for Home Depot, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Brendan. We'll go with this one. Usually I'll go the yeehaw action, but there we go, a little fist bump. These are a little slow on my board. They're taking like a big time delay. But each time in CTIB, I said, this is the price I'm fading into, meaning it runs into that price. I'm just going to sit there knowing where I want to catch on this turn. It was high of day at the open. I just got it literally at that 84, 85 range. It snaps up and instantly, and these are 1 minute candles here, guys, able to get out 76, 72, 68. So that's as fast. And if you have an idea of where the prices you like are going to be, you can go ahead and trade this actively. Now, if it does get back to this 350 low where I got out close to the bottom, I'll probably be all flat if I'm going to play this sort of VWAP too low of the day type of game. So it's range-bound trading for me now in CTIB after getting that big flush off the open. But that 85 worked out rather nicely. I wouldn't give this to that 4 even. That would be too strong a move. too strong of a move if it got there. I'll definitely give this to about like 90 to 91, so only risking 5 or 6 cents, maybe a couple more to already have put in like an average of an 11-cent win and looking for even more than that, guys.
Yeah, 11-cent win seems really small. Wow, look at QS. We did get out. We got short and out again by accident there. We just had 2 orders, but that was a big trade. So we're not long. I wish we still were long QS, man. Look at these bottom picks, 52.50 there. Post it there. I'll put it in the chat again one more time. Let me know what you're buying on dips. I think it was pretty, convenient there that we posted some of those up today. So that's why you want to follow me on Twitter there. We'll have some good discussions, hopefully moving forward as well. But look at this, guys. $3 win now on NEO, and we go right back to where we bought it initially, right back to the open trade. It goes down as 41. You got your 12% there on NEO alone on that, like down 41 up to 46.50 right now. Big win there. Palantir, you know your boys on that one, man. We're walking on water right now with Palantir, just straight to the upside. A big trade there. We're $2 in the money on Palantir. So whatever. I mean, how many times am I going to say it? Whatever. It's a profitable stock for us today. So Palantir keeps going. QS keeps going. That XPEV, man. Some of these levels that I wrote down look like they're going to be holding pretty good. Let's go back over to XPEV. 36.50 was a level there to go that we were looking to break. It hasn't even come back to that level. It actually breaks it to the downside, holds that 32 and change. This could go as well because NEO's on the way back up. Can't believe I didn't punch that 625 on Tesla. That's definitely a mistake. Wow, 660, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, some of these bounces back to the upside are like intense. I'm going to throw another one out here for you guys that is not necessarily as strong. There was if I can, well, it wasn't as strong. It was, like 2 seconds ago, it wasn't as strong. And that's going to be Oxy off of their disappointing earnings over the energy space. Look, I was literally about to tell you guys if we can catch a 25.50 break, and then of course it literally is already gone. So look out for 26, 30, or 40. Remember, it's still disappointing earnings for them. And if you start to think about this move, which has not come back to the prices at the opening on the futures, some of these names that are lagging, you have to watch out for. Brendo?
I was just checking on Tesla again today. Yeah, there was a really large volume spike there, guys, but I don't see any headlines as far as Tesla is concerned. But just going to double check. A heads up if you're watching Tesla, guys.
Okay, guys, and your boy gets involved in BTCC as well. Bitcoin coming back upside. We take this breaking through 9. Let's see, it's already at 9.10. So a nice little, it's only 8 cents, but a nice little win there. Look, man, all we're doing is stacking profits right now. $3 on NEO, just took that out. And thank you for all of the love on here, man. You guys are loving the energy. You guys are saying this is hella awesome. What's up to David Lafferty as well, guys? Palantir, you guys are going crazy. And thank you, what's up with that? Nice pick, Sean Katina. Man, you are welcome. I mean, just thank you for coming on board. Like I said, as long as you weren't part of that initial dip. Oh, look at BTCC now, guys. Bang! Another 15-cent winner on that one. Diamond hands, appropriate time for this one. Let's see what happens to BTCC as Bitcoin rallying back to 48 and change.
If you want one name which is not rallying whatsoever, look no further than Home Depot. Sort of just sitting on these lows, guys, and this is actually still continuing to get crushed. This did make our watch list, guys, so do make sure you're checking that one out with disappointment guidance into the future. This is like the reverse of stay-at-home play, people getting out, not doing the home renovation project. But if it gets back through a 260, I'm going to play a little rebound play because some things are falling a little too far here, and if it hasn't participated yet, I might look for a quick little break here at an even dollar level at 60s on Home Depot. Brendan?
Somebody was mentioning this one in the pre-market, guys. ARK Innovations, one of ARK Invest's ETF. I was just reading 10 of their holdings down 10% at the open, but huge bounce here for this thing as well. 128 back to 134 for ARKK.
Yep, you are right about that one. And the largest, I think, most profitable stock here today, Palantir, a nice little one. So you guys want a bag, so you're going to get it right now. Bang! Right there, a beautiful play on Palantir, bringing it to the upside there. Very, very profitable trade there. We just took some out at 60. We're very, very light now. We'll get out the last 5% if it breaks below 25.50 for a $1.50 win. Ho-hum. NEO, $2.33. We just took some out again. We are very, very light on all of these names. That BTCCB, we basically get out at the very top. We get out at 9.16 there off of a 9 long. Not a great trade, but I'll take it, man. I mean, I'll take 15 cents on a $9 stock there, considering it's crypto. We'll do that. But right now, man, I mean, I'm just cruising and really, really get some good feels today. It's been a big day, guys.
Yeah, remember CTIB, top end break happened. So last short look, we took some profit out, took the hit on the second, well, not really half of it. It was actually about 40% left. And then it takes out pre-market highs. That's a momentum long basically every single time. So I always scalp some out. some too fast. I mean, I went over to it and I saw that 50s, I had 46s, like an idiot, took out like 10% of it at that price, but the rest, mostly at this range here, like the 460 for that like 10, 15 cent type scalp idea. Now, if you go back to the higher time frame, there's really no levels to go to. You have to go really, really far back, and then you see like a 610, and then maybe some prominence back at that 450 where we just went long. So it'll have to be 3/4 and $5 that I'm paying attention to here. So I'll get some shares out in front of 3/4, 475 that is, and then look to see if it does turn at $5, where I'll take the rest of that profit up to CCIB 446 on the break long. It was 441 the pre-market high.
All right, CTIB, great trade there for sure. Okay, so just to give you guys an update, we do have an out now on NEO. It's going to be down here, 45.75 or so break, 45.60, 45.70. If that does break, we're going to get out of NEO. We're light on it now. I'm just feeling real good because we did make a lot of money back, man. We were in some big time trouble there early on, as you just mentioned with ARK Investments. We were going long a lot of those names. We wound up getting hit on AMC because that did fall all the way back down, but we are going to try to get back into that name as well. It's having a little bit of a problem at 720, but Brendan, give us another name and we'll look back.
Yeah, just after 10 o'clock, obviously, guys, but coming up in an hour, we're going to have a really interesting guest, guys, in a really interesting space. Craig Taylor, CEO, and Alex Knox, who is a board advisor from Defense Metals. So we're talking about rare earth metals today. Coming up at 11:15. This is EV related. This is all things battery related. They're going to tell us about how they mine the product, what makes it different from some of the more common metals that are mined today. So coming up at 11:15, guys, Defense Metals.
All right.
Definitely
looking forward to that one.
There was a talk yesterday in a Q&A about those breakout trades and how you want to treat them. Now, I'm going to get the last of my shares out here, and it's going to be that last 15%. Almost break even. This is a particular case where my original sentiment was a short. So when it bounces up, you get some out at the top, but on the way back in, I take more for like a 16 penny winner at 63, sorry, 17 cent win at 63. And then look, if I end up making a bad wick, getting out when it breaks that 40s, take a 5 cent hit on the last 15%, whatever. That's the way that I'm going to trade that type of a breakout if I have that short sentiment. There's no news on this stock to cause it to be up 95%. So I will favor the short, despite liking those breakout trades. The only long I did like so far was that break. If it takes out fresh highs, right now that'd be 480. I don't like that. I don't like the 480 long necessarily going into 5 even. I am looking to see if I can't short in front of 5 if it does get there on CTIB.
I was just telling Brendan here that you got to get some bottoms on some of these stocks, and because that's the only way. Like I've made back, basically like 5 or 6 times my daily goal from the bottom, or if not more than that at this point. But Palantir was one of those big reasons why, as that just continues now to keep on marching higher, man. 26, 26.40. We talked about it. You know, if you hold Palantir for long enough, hopefully this comes into your fortune. I love the name, and what a great opportunity. Like, look at this. This is what you got to do, man. Buy. Don't, like, there's no dropping off. We actually support our own belief. Like, look, I'm going to get hit, right? Like, when I believe in something, I'm going to actually, put on some shares and try. It breaks, like, we tried 25. We defended. We were very, very patient with Palantir. It opens 26, right? Our first long was 27, 25, 27. Our next long, 25.03. It breaks. We get out. For some reason, I waited all the way. Should have just got out immediately. More pain there than necessary. Then we say, you know what? Let's try again at 24. Stubborn or not, we had levels on a longer term basis that we loved. 24, 23.50. Like, if you're not taking risks, guys, and you're not trading, like 20, this is it right down here. $23.80, $24. So we were just defending these areas down here, and I was willing to go down with the ship there. We've had great success, so we stick with that logic, and now look what's happening, guys. NEO, $4. Forget about you, Ether. NEO now, $4 in the money. And you want to talk about sticking with it. We averaged in. We got Spank City right here when that broke 44, but it dips all the way down. And then again, we had some 41 levels, right? If you guys want to look at NEO on a daily chart, I'll pull it up right now. There was more levels on NEO to the downside here. Some gathering. Look at that 40. Bang, 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 bang. 40 held a couple times. It just sucks that I can't put some of these trades into my long-term account. We just sit here here and entertain you guys. But man, I'm entertained today, and I hope you guys are too. You know what, Valeria? Great opportunity for likes right now, because if you guys aren't liking this show, then honestly, I don't know what else we could possibly do. I've put on a crazy amount of risk today. We are now back upside. It's been a huge day, 2.3 likes. This should be at 4. If this isn't at 4 in a couple minutes, Valeria, then we need to review, because this needs to be there. Let's throw it to Miss V here and see what we got.
Indeed, Sean, guys, let's go long on the like button. Our goal is to get 5,000 of likes today, and only you can help us to do this. We have almost 12,000 of viewers, so I think we can easily get 5,000 today. What do you think, Sean?
5,000? Yeah, on the low end. Let's see if we can get a little higher than that. Look at Neo go. You guys, you love the money. I know why, because it means we're making that money. So Neo, wow, what a move, guys. This was down 17% at one point, Brendo. Give it to us, bud.
All right, guys, just having a look at FSLR. Just broke through, I guess it was that last little high coming back from the pre-market. So we're trying to get back to the upside for this one as well. Also, a huge bounce for First Solar. Earnings Thursday for FSLR, guys.
Watch out, CCIV approaching that $38 mark. Looks pretty crazy to me. I just got a failed break, and again, I've had a couple of these triggers here, and we always say you got to do this.
Hey, what the hell?
If you don't mean to get in, and I had a long trigger that just fired early, just get right out, pay the spread. We didn't actually break 38, so I'm not even sure why we got in. Probably maybe even a keystroke, but 38 was definitely going to be that key. 37.50 for now holding, and then look out for CTIB. It wasn't at $5, it was at $4.90 that one turned around, but CTIV, I mean, I was willing to go both ways, and that was going to be a 39.50 or 38 longs, and it does feel like at some point it could get inevitable, but that was just a monster hold of the level at 38 even on CCIV, so maybe the selling is going to come back into this one at some point. Just to come back over to a name that we somewhat ignored today, Boeing actually turning back southbound. Now, you had a chance to get Boeing at 206. We talked about some of the tech names down at the bottom, unfortunately, instead of this one. But you are seeing the ES, the S&P 500, stall out at about 38.35 here. Now, if it makes another leg to the upside, Boeing is put in this top at 211, which gives you a prime little sort of breakout. This is more of a follow the market type of move. If you wanted to have something that's a little attached to it there, it might extend a little further. Boeing's still down on the session and looking to break back to the upside.
All right, guys, here we go. Hot dogs for everybody. You guys like some of these animations that we are hitting, and there's Neo coming out. Just as we said, it breaks through 47, and we flash out there. So, wow. I mean, this chart, I know it looks insane, but really nice trade here on Neo from the bottom. Anyways, we did take too big of a hit, but we did make that money back, some of it anyways, back to the upside. Palantir, though, that's the only position I have left on. I do want to get some more AMC on if we can, but Palantir breaking through 25.90, I think, is going to be a spot that we should probably think about getting out on right now. It looks like it's coming back through as well. Or do I already have an order to get out? No, I don't. I get to cancel that one quickly. There it is, guys. 3.5K. So thank you so much for that quick one. But we need to get to 4K. So let's see if we can get that as well very soon. What's up, Brendo?
Macy's, guys, the other earnings name that was on the list this morning. Macy's downside still, but we're trying to hold at 15 here. So let's see what happens for Macy's. Remember, earnings actually a little better than expected on the same store sales side of things and on the digital sales side of things. But again, they're a little unsure as to what is going to happen going forward, guys.
All right. I just got reloaded into RETO. Remember that stock? It went all the way down to 210. I was getting out at 250 on a short all the way up at like 340s, and then we shorted again at 280. We shorted one time at 3 even. Now we're back to around that 280 mark. I mean, it's close enough. We got to like 275. I don't get the short till about 65 down here, but if it retraces, I'll start covering in front of 50s. 210 is probably a little bit of a pipe dream, guys, but this stock's starting to make a little bit of a rebound with the market and go to the names that are the weakest if you want to short into some of those plays. Just to go back over to CCIV, it didn't break 38. I think this time it looks like it's going to. I don't know why I triggered the first time, but the second time, maybe it'll be a charm, and maybe it'll be for real that we clear through that price. It hasn't happened yet, though.
Yeah, we're long CCIV where I took a little bit of a winner, so we'll do a little bit of a backflip there, but now it's coming back downside. So we're going to hold this until at least about a 36 or so here on CCIV. So we're going to give this one some room. It could fade back down like it's doing right now. So that CCIV here comes. What did I say our L was going to be? I just put it through about 36.20 or so on the downside. If that doesn't hold, looks like right now, I mean, look at the market, guys, coming right back. There it is. So we'll get out of CCIV. Oh, well, 0 for 1. We tried it there. I mean, maybe 34 on a 1 minute or so look, but this may be bought back up here in a 36.50 break. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I mean, I'm watching for VWAP. There was a cluster that I had that I shorted off of for my best CCIV trade right around 35. So that would look like a good bounce point for me. I'm looking at basically the same stock right now. And then coming right back into, I'm not going to go over Oxy, but I want to go back over to Sundial. I did briefly mention this one on the way up. There was no, and again, there's no size on this stock relative to what we were seeing when it was the good old days, which was like a week or so ago on Sundial. So not much to see at that 125. And if there's going to be something to pick on a rollover, I really don't mind it being this particular name through like a 120 here. So if we get back down below VWAP, I'm going to be shorting on Sundial, guys.
Okay, guys, we did it again. We made that back on CCIV right now. So a nice little trade backside now on CCIV. We just took that again through 36.50. We talked about that. Out again, 37.09. So that's 70 cents. 60 cents and then 70 cents. And now we'll go higher here on CCIV. Long 26.53 right now. The pin's just lined up down there off of that miss right there. So we'll wait to see if it goes higher. I don't know, but maybe Brendan does. What's up, Brendan?
I mentioned some of the travel names strong again today. Here's another one just popping up, guys. Love through that last little high there from the open, 56.20 on volume, 2.6%. Big bounce, $2 worth of a bounce for Love this morning, guys.
Southwest looking strong. I know Mark will be happy about that. That's Mark
that
Roberts. 120 is on the bid here, just on Sundial. So if it gets that break, this is also short sell restricted. So I'll try to get a fill if I can. I just got back into some more shares of that RETO, so it bounces. Right around VWAP here. Like I said, I still actually have bids in front of 250 in case it goes. The first short we had, or so the last short we had prior to this, was around this 280 level. That's the level I'm going to use for my out. And then also watching this, that CCIV never got to that 35 for me, or that 38. Playing in the middle scalping has worked, but I'm looking for an actual test of those two extremes on the top and bottom end, 35 and 38 on CCIV.
Okay, yeah, I'm just looking to make some plays here as well. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Just to give you guys an update here, Palantir does breach that 26 and we get out. So, wow, what a great run that was on Palantir. My number one stock today, PLTR. So we'll wait to see on that one. CCIV, man, just still bouncing around. I mean, glad we took out 40% of that stock on the upside. We'll see if it does break higher through 38 soon. Hopefully, that is CCIV. Brendan at the big screen. Small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, a few little ones to have a look at today. I mentioned pre-market, small cap were a little bit quiet so far today. Ended up being a little bit of a chop fest as well. So let's start with this one, VBLT, one that was up in the pre-market. You can see big move aftermarket yesterday, gapping higher this morning, but this was just obviously weak throughout the pre-market, just kind of grinding along this 280 level. Ended up being the spot, started breaking downside. You take the break. Pretty easy trade, down to 230, 240 area for VBLT. RETO, Neil was talking about this one. Same story. This was just very obviously weak in the pre-market. So you take your pick anywhere along here. You can take this consolidation down to 220. So $3 all the way down to 220 for that RETO from yesterday. But big bounce on that one right now as well. This one, however, was not. CTIB, there was an obvious buyer down here, 350. They were buying shares, 350, 350. They were just accumulating and accumulating. And if you do that long enough, you end up getting the move back to the upside as the shorts get out of the way. So it did give you a couple of opportunities. I actually took this long initially, got out, and then pretty easy short down through to 350, 340. But as I mentioned, they ended up buying that all the way back up and then some. So if we hold 420 to the upside, that one might give you another move, guys.
All right, so there's CCIV again down. So we got hit again on CCIV. We tried it a couple times here. It's going to be a small loser, but still a loser, so we don't really like that feeling. But that's CCIV to the downside there, and it goes. QS still hovering around that same spot there that we're looking at. Afria, some of the names here. We can look at Roku. That's probably bounced a lot from the bottom there as well. 408. What was the bottom in Roku there? Yeah, 384. Big move up. But it looks like things are starting to possibly turn around, so we're pretty light right now, guys. I actually have nothing, so that's how light we are. We're looking for some more opportunities.
Yeah, I got that reto, I should say, of course, on that reload around VWAP, but it's actually holding strong, I suppose, at 60s. I got some out there, and then next, of course, those 50s. And if it goes from there, I'd probably be a little more aggressive in front of 35. So a small cap like this, sort of on day 2 of weakness, showing this kind of a bounce, I might tighten things up just a little bit here and not give it to 85s. Probably give the short to 80s, as I am short at 73 as an average price. It's in the money, but you want to have a plan of action in case that changes. Going to go over to XPeng here. I talked about waiting for the opportunity to short and fade this one. I did try it on the way up with a tight stop. That same level at 35, I'm going to take it if it breaks 35. So I'm going to be going short on XPEV if it breaks at 35. If there's one name that I got to have today because of the lockup, it was always going to be this. So I was never even trying to bottom pick on XPEV. I was looking to fade that trade essentially all day long. Sundial, that's a disappointment. We'll lose like 1 cent going short 120 and it goes back up to 121. I could have taken a penny, but I thought we'd get like 4 or 5 on it.
All right, so Sundial there, quick mover, and well, I guess not too quick, but with the amount of shares you take, you don't want to take too big hits.
It's not, the volume's not as good on it. It's almost like chasing the good old days that were last week, essentially, on that stock.
Yeah. You got to stay away from stocks if they're not doing the volume, and there's no really reason to be into them. Okay, Apple. How low did Apple go today? Maybe for a bottom pick there, 118 and change. Man, look at all these dark pools. Very, very hard to read the chart when you have these, but if I just ignore all of them, we'll be okay. 122.50 or so. Very, very interesting levels here. We are bouncing off this view. Actually, my bad. 121.50 is a key level there for this. So let's watch out for 121.50 on Apple. We did talk about that. We wanted to try to eventually get into some Microsoft here today. Again, like 229 up to 238. I think we picked the best one, man. This Neo rebound was monstrous. 42 to 47. That's 12% straight upside there on NIO, guys.
Yeah, and look, you're going to get flush with me all over the place. Like one of the sleepiest stocks, and we talked about DraftKings a lot, maybe even Penn, but GAN usually is pretty stable. And this one, so I'm going to file this way. Look, if there's ever a push like this again, and I see some of these names move, I'm going to watch for GAN for an easy pickup, because that's how that actually made a 10% move is sort of beyond me. But thank you very much. Finally, Reto, I'm going to call it. Finally making that leg to the downside. So there's that 250 that we talked about there. So 74, 72, 73 was our average price. 74, the last entry that we did get. So you start to get down into that sort of 10% pushback. There was a cluster here below 250, so I am going to get some more shares out in the 240 range, and then another bid down here around like the mid 230s. If we can test this low, forget about 210, which is the absolute bottom. I'm actually looking more at this 230, where you had a couple of points of resistance on the way down. I'd like to get flat in front of that level if I can. There are some signs of strength. It's the volume on this move up that really concerns me, and why I'm a little more aggressive getting out of the short than I was holding it essentially since 7 o'clock this morning. I've been shorting our ETO, and that last move was a ton of volume on the way to the upside, which is why I have at least a little bit of caution. And thank you, Randy, for... I had no discipline. Don't put like 20 Timbits in my face, because I'll probably eat them all. Thank you so much, Ranster.
There's always a problem. I mean, it's a good problem to have when Randy's in the building. He always hooking up to Sweet Tooth there. I took one, and he said take 2. So thank you for that, Randy. We will get some sugar, hopefully infused trades coming up soon. Is that 4,000, Valeria? Is that what you're cheering about there? Or you're cheering about sugar? Okay. Valeria's loving sugar there. So, which she gets a lot in her coffee, a couple squirts of sauce. Syrup. What am I talking about? AMC, what's up, Brendo?
We were talking about this very briefly in the pre-market, guys. Zoom Info was another one. With earnings, aftermarket yesterday, better than expected, still going. $60 in play here for ZI.
So I was literally, as I was doing this and eating a Timbit, CTIV just turned at $5 on a dime. So you can rewind the tape all you want. I said that was the level I was waiting for. We did have a breakout long. We've had some decent shorts. Every single time I picked a level to get short in front of, there was this one at the open. There was this one right here at 30.85. And it instantly, in 1 minute, gave you the win. Same thing happened here at $5. But given this retracement, if it can hold 450, yeah, I'll go 5 even break. Because when I showed you guys the daily chart, I mean, ain't anything. There's nothing until you get to like $6. So I'll go long through $5, no problem. But I should have had that initial 95, 96, 97 short and made like 20 cents for an easy scalp. I didn't because I was a little distracted. Is what it is. If it bounces off 450, it's a 5 break I like a heck of a lot better than buying any dip in a stock like this.
Okay, yeah, we're still looking to see if we can make some money somewhere here. And I want to put on a trade, but I'm trying to find a good opportunity, obviously. Palantir, I mean, where I sold would have been a good opportunity. That was just a small piece there, but if Palantir can get back to 26, that could be a juicy trade as well for us. Palantir back to 26 could be something to look at. Other than that, we are still going, man. Let's see how much money we can make on some of these names. We're trading some Ether. We're trading a bunch of different names right now. But Palantir going to the upside right now. This is the ETHE here. I don't know what this is going to do, upside or downside, but it is moving around right now. Ether back a little bit, as this was a big move. 17 down to 14, and we actually had that bottom. So that was a good one for us as well. And then other than that, I mean, I'm going to wait for NEO to pull back a bit. And if we can get Palantir at 26, I'll be a happy guy.
Look at the slippage. So the first time I get triggered into 38, and it doesn't actually, doesn't even break on CCIV. The second time I get 15s. To the upside there. So when I'm getting out at quarters, usually I'm like, okay, just gonna immediately take quarters, thinking I get like 05s, but I was actually long at 15. So I end up only taking 10 cents, which stinks. Now remember, high of day here is 39.50. So out in front of high of day in any long, and then looking to make an actionable trade off of 39.50. So no matter what, I'm not taking more than like a buck 25 on this CTIV break on the second half, and then looking for that 39.50 level. It's a winner, but man, that's slippage on that trade. Brendan, what's up?
Just a heads up, guys. The Powell testimony has begun, 2 days worth, just starting in Washington. Not expecting anything earth-shattering, but just a heads up. On the overall market, this one just popping up. Tilray, cannabis stocks have been a little quiet over the past couple of days. You can see Tilray back below 23, trying to get back above 23, I should say, after another flush at the open this morning as well. It's holding higher, though, for Tilray.
Okay, so that's Tilray. Unfortunately, I know Neil has CCIV. We had it at 36.50 and dropped it through 36. So, yeah, you got to watch out for that one. That's a slippery slope. That's a good name for sure. CCIV, we'll watch that one. Palantir back to 26. It could come through soon. We'll wait for that to come through. BNGO back down to $10. That could be also a decent buy at these levels, man. I mean, there's a lot of stocks still on sale because the NASDAQ's still down that 1.5%. I mean, $8 to 10. You did miss this run, but some of these stocks still pretty underappreciated here.
Yeah, look, there are a lot. It's almost impossible for us to cover literally every single name. Like I sit here and I go back in hindsight, the gut was like Snowflake and Lemonade because that's where my head was at in Virgin Galactic. But I mean, look at PAC-B. Like you could have got PAC-B at $30 essentially, which is just, I mean, whatever. It's at 36 bucks and it is what it is. But it just goes to show you want to have a plan of action of whichever names you're most comfortable with. It doesn't matter, like almost everything that you would have liked is going to be a bit of a winner. Just slowing down here a little bit. Sorry, I got to go back to CCIV because it was screaming the first time into this 39 and then having a bit of a chop. So 39.50 is the high of the day, but if I start quibbling over a few extra pennies, now, like, I'm going to take what'll end up being like a 60-cent win here, but if it turns off this little double top pre-market high, I did want to go short off the level if I could, and then reverse into a long. And if I'm holding a long breakout from 38, that doesn't make any sense, right? So I got a bit flat before I can go short. I'm going to play this one way or another off of 39.40. Check that as the high of the day, but 39.50 is what I'm going to work with. We do the quarters and the 50s. I will jump into a short if it gets to like a 10, 25, somewhere in that range, a little tighter to the 50s. And then it would be a reverse momentum breakout long, hopefully a quick scalp trade as well. But have stops on something like CCIV. The stock has already gone $8 from the bottom. So if you're going to short it, you got to be very, very careful, of course. Brendan?
Big mover yesterday, TAOP just popping up here, trying to hold $9. Again, downside, this thing was halted already once. You can see after testing 1050 at the top, we got all the way down to 850. So heads up on TAOP, 17%, guys. 10:30, that means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Valeria is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly in a negative territory following a trend set by the US and Asia, also reacting to the negative earnings. HSBC Bank trading in London is down 1.5% after its annual profit fell significantly due to the pandemic. Back to you.
Yeah, if you have anything that even comes remotely close to negative earnings, it looks like, guys, you're getting sold hard today, guys.
Okay.
Yep. No, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, okay, so 675, 678 or so here. Sorry, you guys don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this name, AMC. Okay, so we took a little bit there at 7. It drops down to VWAP. We get a little bit more. We're going to try to give it just breaking through 80. This is, I mean, we're long at 95. So, again, about a 15-cent hit or so. You know, should be okay. We don't have a hell of a lot of shares, but I do like the trade. So we're going to wait to see right now back through 7. I think we can get to 714, 715, and then maybe more upside here on AMC. We'll just wait to see. Anyways, that's my only position right now, AMC.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I feel good like sitting in is going to be that that RETO. Now, CTIB, It doesn't make the test, and this is actually at a stop to go break long if it took out that 50. Of course, it did not. For now, it's broken back down below that 450, but it did bounce. The last time it came down here, it kind of bounced off of 420. Whatever. I'm not making it up. It bounced off 420. You can see it on the chart. And then not even getting to VWAP. So it's still in a bit of an upward trend, not leaning into the short unless it gets below that 420. I think the CEO of a CCIV was on another channel, maybe causing some movement in the stock. I still have that breakout idea for it, but just want to make sure you don't want to be trading blindly on this particular one. I could have rolled into the short already, but I told you guys I wanted it above 39 to have a really tight stop to that high of day. So for now, no position, but it's holding this top. And this is like a powder keg, guys. If it breaks through 39.50, like maybe goes up like 10, 15 cents and slams back down, next thing you know, we're looking back at 38s. That would probably be one of those like hella reversal shorts into VWAP, which is like $3 to VWAP from that point, Brennan.
Yeah, I can show you these comments here. The CEO basically saying the valuation is a reflection of their technology, whatever that means. So, yeah, it looks like the CEO was commenting on this deal there, guys.
Yeah, like, is that a good thing, reflection on their technology? I don't know. Okay, we'll wait to see, though. Palantir still doing nothing. AMC still the trade that we're waiting for to go. I think you can get into some airlines now as well. What about AAL off of 19 bottom? Goes back to 20. Come on, AAL. Yeah, obviously it's on the NASDAQ. $2021 now for AAL. 2010. You know, again, I think if we get back here, 1980. The reason why I'm not like getting aggressively into trades right now, the market's obviously moving a lot, so we can fall back down. And I think we got to wait for some of these things to come in, right? So we are going to wait for that one. And then the only thing that really, CCIV, I got out too early, and obviously I got out of QS too early as well. Look at this, man. We were long 52.20 downside on QS, man. That would have been a nice trade to still have.
Yeah. Oh, I saw someone mentioning, just someone in the chat, and apologies because the chat moves really fast. So if I missed the name, but I saw the symbol and it was plug. Great look here. You're right up at this pre-market high, and look, there's a lot of charts that have this V, so it's not going to be unique, but you're rounding out, and it's like a 45.80 top end play on plug. And now CCIV was going to give me the same look. Plug power probably a little bit strong in my opinion, more volatile, of course, in CCIV. But I'll take this play almost every single chance I can get it, guys. Check that, 85, 45, 85 is the high, not 75 or 80, whatever I said. 45, 85 the high, 46 is the level I would use. I'll take a rollover short in front of this. Risk to reward is going to be fantastic, and then the breakout is there for you. The market is essentially, hanging out around these levels. I mean, the NASDAQ just teetering on 13,000 here, and if this breaks down, you're going to want to have some exposure to the short, and of course, if it breaks up, you want to sit there and hold some of your breakout long. So it's kind of like one of those rubber band effects. If you have a tight enough stop, you don't on a coin flip, you're going to be in a good situation on some of these names. Thank you. Great opportunity there in plug. I love this community because I wasn't watching this particular name, threw it on my quote board, and just got short in front of 50s or at 44. I'd add if I can get 70s or 80s, but 46 would be my stop. And then if it even comes back to like a 43.50 where this chop was, you're talking about a couple of dollars for risking 50 cents.
So we'll see if we can't pick this name, AMD here. The reason why, we do have an 83.10 high there. So let's see if that will hold. But other than that, like if we can break down below here, 82.40, 82.50, that could signal a nice little move back to VWAP 81.75 or so. So we'll see if we can't catch this one and then see if we can't hold it. So there it is. So now we go short right now, obviously, as you can see on AMD. So a decent position right now coming to the downside. Let's see how far it can go. We do have some upside where we can get out. 82.90. I just talked about 83.10, 83.20, I guess 83.10. So there are some levels just in case we're wrong on this move back down, but that's a nice move back up. Let's see if it can hold some of these gains. If not, I'm comfortable with an AMD short, my only trade right now.
Yeah, and that plug sort of already, it broke 45, so I actually was in the money about 80 pennies or so, and I would have taken some off if it gotten down to like, I don't know, like $1, $1.20 in the money. Let's see if that can't roll over to our advantage. Just going to come to, if the NASDAQ does fail to, okay. Now we're going to go to NVIDIA. There we go. And apologies for the wicks on the chart. There's a lot of dark pools that have gone off today. If we do roll through that 13,000, you got to think about what are you buying if there's a secondary dip. I just wanted to point out in NVIDIA, giving you maybe a shot. And I would say a higher low, maybe in front of like it's a 534 bottom, or 535 bottom, sorry. So like maybe like a 38 or a 40, a couple of bucks in front, just in case we do get a secondary flush to the downside. What's a name that you feel sort of comfortable trying your hands at? CTIB is now below that 420 mark. So I missed it at $5, but if we can hold that, it's below VWAP. I'll look to maybe play the short side of that trade. There's support there at 350 on that name.
Yeah, again, let's just see what the NASDAQ does here with AMD. I don't really have too many downside targets. I mean, we should get some off, obviously, at 82 if that does come through. So, 82 even if that comes through. So that's a good little level for us to get out if we can. I did put some orders to get out if it does break above 90. We talked about that, or above this 83.20 level. So those are just some levels of, not concern, but if we don't continue downside, I think we're not going to hold this. We've already built our money back quite nicely back here today. So we'll hold this one, see if it'll give us a little bit of a play. But I am looking, we've bounced a couple times at 82, so maybe let's just call it like 82.15 maybe to get out of some if we're lucky enough to get that opportunity. But right now it looks like the NASDAQ is bouncing and just doesn't want to go down any further. The thing about it too is, guys, we have Jerome Powell speaking right now. So we got to be very, very careful on what kind of rhetoric's happening over there as well. What's up, Brendan?
Sonos, another one just popping up here through this last little high from the morning once again. So a lot of these stocks that we had big moves down, trying to clear that last little pivot from the open, still down 1%, but Sonos coming in on volume.
Almost definitely going to be worth that look. And look, it's been an absolutely unbelievable day, and I feel like it's definitely one of those situations where you have to have some sort of guidance in terms of what are you going to look at. And that's why we have a watch list, and you'll see we jump to names that we're comfortable with. We jump to names that are on that watch list, and for those who have not made the change, please. We're on a website, so it's easy for you guys to all get. If you have not signed up, go ahead and do that right away. Do not wait. We're not going to be sending it out via email for too much longer, guys. So jump over. It's really, really easy to do. You can log in with Facebook or Google, guys. So with your email. So go ahead. It's definitely worth doing. And I find on a day like today, I would have had no chance in terms of picking one or two stocks to trade. I'd be in like 15 names and maybe all the wrong ones instead of finding some nice wins here. You knew CTIB was going to be good. You knew CCIV was going to be an interesting one as well. So take advantage of it. Speaking of CTIB, I'm going to now that we're holding down this like 410 area, I'm going to see if we can't get into some kind of a short in front of 420. And again, it just happens to be VWAP. It happens to be where it dipped before making the rally that failed at $5. It's not like I'm not trying to be sly about it. It literally is a level right now on CTIB.
Yep. Okay. So AMD does get hit there, and we got a little bit back in just in case that 83 was just like a tester short there. So we are back into that name right now. That is, of course, AMD. So we're still going to give it to that 82.20. Looks like we'll lose on it, man. If it just doesn't want to keep going, we will have to get out and take a hit here, obviously, on AMD. But we're back short. So we're back short now, 82.75, 82.77 now, using some of these highs. Again, if the NASDAQ wants to keep doing this, man, we'll be here for it. But for right now, it's not looking like a great trade. 83.20. And I'm just trying to pick a name that I think was weak today. Look at this. Nothing there. You can look at a lot of names look like this. But AMD has these kind of tops right now. Let's just see if it holds it. My bet is it doesn't, hence why I'm short. But so far, I'm not right. So let's wait to see. We need a little bit of help here. Let's go to the downside, please, AMD, and please, NASDAQ, for my consideration on the short. Give it to them, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, let's have a look at the S&P 500. We'll see what is moving around as far as sectors are concerned. 2 days in a row, I mentioned yesterday, a little bit deceiving. There is a lot of positivity on this board once again. Far corner is the real estate group, those little REITs to have a look at. This is the financial sector. So the banks, individual banks popping up here as strong outside of SIVB, earnings name downside 4%. Diversified financials red. Some of the insurance companies also having a decent day. More of a mix showing today from the energy group. The past couple of days, this one has been a leader, although Marathon and Fang here are 3.5% and 4% to the upside. Industrial stocks are negative. You can see there are a few in here, including Southwest. We talk about 4% higher for Southwest today, and Alaska in here 3.3% in positive territory. The capital goods group, there are a few that are positive, but negativity here. The entire tech sector, again today, 3 days in a row now, the entire tech sector basically in negative territory. Yes, there are a few that are positive, but overall, each individual group very much leading the way to the downside, including hardware, equipment makers, semiconductors, big time negativity. NVIDIA there, 3.6%. AMD, 2.8%. ENPH, 4.25% to the downside. Consumer discretionary stocks outside of some of these travel names. We saw yesterday the hotels, the cruise lines, the airlines all together. Not the case today. You can see CCL and Norwegian here, 2 and 3.25% negative, while MGM and Wynn both in positive territory. Some of the retailers getting hit pretty hard as well. There's Home Depot. We talked about the earnings, 4.2%. Etsy right beside it, 4% as well. In negative territory, still 0.75% for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
Like, it sucks because normally I'm a bull, and well, I mean, whatever. I go both, but and it's just funny that I normally am long AMD and we go short, and now it finally wants to take out the top. So there it is, out of AMD, and look, that's going to happen obviously to me. I thought that the NASDAQ could turn over. We picked a fair name, and I didn't lose that much, so I'm pretty happy with it. But obviously not happy that we lost on it. But whatever, a decent name with a decent pullback there. And look, this is why we talk about it. You guys always ask us, or ask me anyways, about like, you know, what holdings do I have, and I try to give them to you. This is why I hold like 20 to 30 names in my long-term account, man. I'm long JP Morgan, sub 100, and you know, while I was buying Square, while I was buying Microsoft, while I was buying a lot of these tech names at the bottom, also, you know, slipping into some JP Morgans. And I mean, if you look at the chart of JP Morgan, that's the daily chart right here, you can see this beautiful move back up, right? So while the NASDAQ and some of the tech positions that I hold are obviously struggling, you can see what's making it up, man. These banks, JP Morgan just continues to work. So congratulations, anybody that followed that. I know, Daryl, you're on that play with me as well. Great little run back on the banks, man. I thought it was going to be a good sell spot right around here, 140. I did not sell anything. Good move. But yeah, JP Morgan continues to impress, guys.
And going to be a quick reversal here. We talked about this in plug. Did I get greedy? Yeah. Could I have taken $1 on the short? Yeah, I could have taken that first leg off a little more aggressively, but I was going to play this level in both directions. So reversed into the long after taking the hit on the short trade and plug. It's now 50 pennies in the money. The other stock that actually just broke 2 seconds ago is CCIV. And again, it's going to be the same thing with this break. So you're going to get slipped. It gets to 13 pennies to 63s, and I got to zoom in so you can see way better here. And then immediately start to fail below that $40 mark. So I do scalp a little bit of it out because I want to take a breakout trade. The first turn, I'm going to take some of this out no matter what. If it cannot hold 39, I said if this is a failed break through this high of day, it could get very ugly very fast. So this is one that I don't want to hold too far. I'm not going to average into it. I'm not going to hold past the even dollar. No way, no how. I know it's only like 60 or 70 cents in CTIV, and we're shorting this for a heck of a lot more than that. This is a different play. As volatile as this stock has been, if this breakout isn't going to work, there's a good chance if it fails, we could be seeing like 36 or 37 rather quickly. So as much as it just popped back in the money for me and all things are okay, and I want to hold through a 40 break, just got to have a plan of action in case it snaps back against me here.
Yeah, good diamond hands on that one. We were long CCIV 36 and couldn't hold it, like so stupid. I don't know what we were doing there. Okay, so back look there on AMD, it just continues to go up. So this one, mistake obviously, but thank God we were able to get out and identify some of these 20 levels right here to get out. I mean, that normally would be a great spot for me to go long. And again, I was just thinking, guys, that the NASDAQ was overdone, so we did not go long. Now I'm thinking again another short here, possibly on AMD, when it just took it out there. Nice little move on our watchers there. Thank you for the likes. I just saw that get smacked through. 83.90, 84 possible level, 84.29 here on AMD. But again, like, I'm playing the market. The market just keeps on ripping up, so I can't look short on AMD if the market's going to go. This was a great play for me. I love AMD long. We just did try short and missed. So you know what? Swing and a miss on that one. Apple moving backside as well. I still can't believe Tesla got as low as 624, and I remember talking about it. Good thing I picked up Palantir. Good thing I picked up NIO, but wow, what a move backside on Tesla. Right back to 700, guys.
Yeah, and look, Tesla being good, this one being beating up on the poo-poo, and I'm saying poo-poo because you guys know CCIV was down 30%. I said I would not fight the tape and would just go with the momentum. It was a short off of the open. Now it's been basically long trades. It just broke 40s. I did add the 39.50 long, so 63s was my slippage. I just got some out for $1. Now I'm just going to hold on to it because, quite frankly, I have no idea how far this thing could go. If it filled in a small portion of this gap, you could very easily be back at like a 45, 46, 47, which none of that would be crazy to me because this stock does whatever it feels like. And Miss V goes to the big screen and has something for us.
Hey guys, ZOM stock is very popular on the chat right now. It reversed back to positive territory, and do you consider trading it today?
You know what's the interesting thing about ZOM is I was actually shorting this stock, well, a few times on the show if you guys watched it live. And of course, when I want to come to it, it doesn't want to bring up my chart. So let's see if we can't get it manually. There we go, over on the Amex. Load, load, load. Nope, 1 minute doesn't want to load. CCIV. John, can you take it? I can't get the stock to come off my system.
Yeah, I just want to talk quickly here about BTCC. We did go long through 9. There's been a big rebound in Bitcoin, man, all the way back to 49,252 here. So if you want to look here at Bitcoin, you could see right now, I mean, even off of a 1 minute chart, sorry, that's a one. Man, I got to zoom over. This is, okay, there we go. Look at this bounce, man. It's almost straight up. 45, 46,000 bottom. They're similar to some bottoms that we had earlier on in the day. Straight up to 50. Watch out now. 49.5 looks to be a nice little top there in BTC. So look at what's happened here. I celebrated the win. I was happy, man. We go through 9. We get out at 9:15. It bounces around. It gives you an opportunity to reload. But here we go, right back to the backside. I'm invested in BTCC more than $10. I got it on Friday, but I really like this. If you're going to choose something crypto related, I really like BTCC instead of anything else because this actually follows Bitcoin. So if you did want to get into a play and you have some reasons to get into something like Riot or Mara, or there's lots of news surrounding those ones, then you can do that as well. But I like BTCC as the first true Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah, and worth noting, Sean, for those of you guys that are in the States, in US dollars, that's .u. You can actually not get worked over depending on who you're trading through when it comes to the currency conversion. I do have my chart up now of ZOM. So I can show, usually when I'm trading the stock, it's going to follow the same pattern. I'm shorting into pops to take advantage of it. This is absolutely insane. So this is a little more extreme than any of the V-shapes that I've seen so far. This is my 15-minute chart just for perspective. So you can see the stock had been halved in the last 2 weeks. $2, it just broke now, but 210 is the previous close. Oh my goodness, I got to take a shot fading off of that, fading off of this high. Current high, pre-market top, and yesterday's close at 210. If there's a level there, oh my goodness, I got to try it. And now CCIV, $3 in the money. If it goes like 10% and 45 is the next level, I got to take 10% if I can get it here because it seems a little crazy to me, but this stock is absolutely gangbusters. So in both directions, it'll be my best trade of the day. Brendan?
Big C, guys. You remember way back to August of last year. This was an IPO back in August. Big Commerce earnings aftermarket yesterday. I was just checking. This thing did get to all-time lows after those earnings. So if I get rid of this, I'll show you another one that made a big bounce here, just popping up on volume here through 64, I guess it was, for Big C, guys.
Big C. Yeah, CCIV, good hold by Neil there. I can't believe I dropped these way too prematurely there on these breaks. Should have given it back to some of this, at least a VWAP, up to $43, yes sir, for CCIV. And by the way, guys, like Tesla, I mean, everything is just murdering itself to the upside right now.
Sure.
Tesla breaks up, man, 706. Like this is up $100 today. Tesla was down to 618. Now it's up to 706. So Tesla rocking. Look at the NASDAQ, man. Buy. And again, like I'm just going to go back to what we talked about right here. Just talked about on the show, diamond hands for cash right now. So if you did have some cash, what were you looking to buy? And we got a lot of love on this tweet. So again, I'll put it back on the chat for you guys. Join it up. We're going to look to see what happens here on some of these calls. Get yourself some credit, man. We will talk about that. Go to that link and find out what we're talking about. See, give us a play, man. What do you guys like? Holy crap. Neo, guys, wow. I cannot believe this stock. I was super happy when this broke VWAP and we started to get out basically on where it opened, 45.50, but no idea. This thing was down 17% today. Neo ripping, man, just tearing off faces right here, up to 48.50. Like, this may be a turnaround spot for NEO if you're looking for something short. But wow, NEO just impressive move to the upside. Money talks with Brendan. Let's check out some cryptos and some currency.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at cryptos first. We'll talk about Bitcoin 2 days in a row to the downside. Yesterday I mentioned 47,000 was the low there, to the number, in fact, 47,000 today, 44,800 and change for the low. So mark that down, 44,800 could come into play at a later date. But yeah, 2 days in a row, big moves in crypto land. Bitcoin still down 10% on the day. We are trying to retake 49,000 as we speak here. So still 2 days in a row, we're seeing that bounce coming back in after the big flush. Ethereum, almost 12% downside back to 1590 for Ethereum. Ripple as well, 17%, 47 cents for Ripple. Everything else kind of muted so far today as far as the actual currencies versus the US dollar with Fed Chair Powell speaking currently. We are seeing a little bit of US dollar weakness, so most of these are higher on the session. British pound among the leaders there, about 0.3%. 141 now for the pound. You can see the euro just going positive. Canadian dollars positive as well. Both Japanese yen, Swiss franc, both positive on the session. Australia, New Zealand was actually negative earlier, but has gone positive, so they were also in negative territory. Turkish lira 0.67%, guys, to the upside. Back over to you.
Thank you, Brennan. CCIV pulling back a little bit, so we got as much as like $3 in the money. The last little bit we have is about 2 and change, but I'm gonna go back over to XPeng. We talked about we talked about the lockup period expiring. It never took out this 35. Now I'm gonna like this level no matter what happens at some point. If we do get a pullback in the market, this is gonna be one that I'll take out the bottom on, and well, not the bottom, but this sort of temporary support level at 35 when it does happen. But for now, eyeballs at this 36.50 area. This is 45 technically, but flush off the open at this price. Hold on the bounce off VWAP. Now testing it again. So if it's something I'm going to fade into to the short side, I've already said it a couple times. I do like the idea of XPeng, despite missing it several times off the open. Thankfully, we got the CCIV, but this is definitely the one where we swung and missed. We'll take this short. I will get to that CTIB, but essentially working off that 420 level into 4 quarters has kind of worked again, so reloaded there. Got some 23s. It's now breaking back down below $4, so rinse and repeat that as much as you like. It's over 100 million shares, so it's moving quite actively, lots of liquidity.
Okay, yeah, so we're completely flat right now. We're watching QS go to 60 again, like when we had 51s long.
Damn.
That's crazy. And then Palantir up to 27.25, and then we had 24s long. So look, I celebrated. We made back a lot of money. I'm super happy, but we definitely left some money on the table there, especially CCIV. BFT up to 16 again. We had that long at 15.20. It breaks below. Well, actually, we get out at 15 there. Now that's ripping to the high side. So a lot of these moves have made it back, including Disney making new all-time highs. There was one thing. Oh, let's just look at Disney quickly here. Disney broke through to 194.02. And again, this is what I'm talking about with making sure that you're loaded up in the right way. Like, sure, my account is loaded with Microsoft, loaded with Apple, things like that. But also, my largest holding now is Disney. Disney and Google, which are both, in my opinion, recover plays. So up to 194.50, a great little run, 195 and change. We're celebrating today as some of these stocks go. Some not. We'll have to look at Uber. Oh, Uber just turned positive as well. What's up, Brendo?
I was just checking on Twitter, guys. Just saw notes suggesting that there was a lawsuit filed against Twitter in relation to the hack that happened. This is going back to the end of last year. Former U.S. President Obama's account was hacked. There was a number of other prominent accounts that were hacked. So there was a lawsuit filed today on that, but not much reaction here. We're actually positive so far for Twitter.
So I can't ignore the fact that CCIV, and I'll zoom in, that scaling is ridiculous because of the gap down that it had. I can't ignore the fact that CCIV just turned at 43.50. It was a sharp pullback. If it puts in a higher low, at this 42 level does look like an interesting one at least. I mean, if it breaks through the top, there's probably some breakout trades that we can still look at. So if it gets up to this like 42, tests again, cannot really get to 43, I will just manually try to get out of this trade. I'm not going to put a trailing stop in, but if we're going to break down below like a 40.50, whatever, I'll lock in the last little dollar. I'm trying to hold this one for a bigger win here and see how far it goes. So sometimes it's like practice, because when you take a breakout trade and you're trying to work that last, like 10, 20, 30%, whatever it is that you're working with, usually for me it's like 10 or 20. and you're trying to hold that for the extent of the move, it's about learning where to get out and finding that top. Now, if it had been 45, that would have been really, really easy. I had an order up there. But a lot of times, if you're watching it, and I should have been watching this a little bit closer, when it did fail through 43 and it's an even dollar fail break, certainly could have been out the first time at 42. But I've held on to it. It's now testing that same area again. I'm looking for a quick failure here, and if it does, literally, as I say it, and of course, apologies, guys. That's going to, because I had a target out, that's going to code as a short sell because I already had a sell order out there. So apologies. That is an exit of my trade. So I'm all flat on CCIV. I will do this one because I have not hit it all week, which is an absolute crime. CCIV for me has been basically just, there you go. Why am I wearing like a doctor? Whatever. Either way, it's a weird outfit that we're wearing on that one, Rob. But crashing the plane and finding some profits. I don't know why we're crashing. Should come in for a nice, easy landing on CCIV because it's a winner, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be for bad trades, but I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. Coming up, that's why we have Rob, the creative genius. Coming up, Craig Taylor, CEO and Alex Knox, board advisor for Defense Metals. Very interesting. Brendan's already talked about them a little bit today, so I'm excited to see what they're all about. That's Defense Metals coming up in approximately 15 to 20 minutes. We will see about that company, and right now, I don't have really anything on board. We've seen a battle back in Ether. We did go short there, 17.25. It's now down to 17, so that's turning out to be a decent trade for us on ETHE. Other than that, I don't have much, man. We've missed the boat on a few different names, obviously. We had, QS, the bottom. Now it's up to 60. That's a good trade. And then AMD, wow, were we wrong on that short, but good thing we're out of that one too.
Right after I cover CCIV, you know where it's gone. Of course, man. Like if I just give you that entire speech about how I'm going to take it out in front of the high, you know it's about to break through that top. Now, I mean, this is going to be 43 like 50, but let's have a look at like 44 if it can get there. Either way, CCIV, this is a complete insanity. It's about to do a 50% move from the bottom. And we talked about this yesterday and this morning, that it's just the volatility would be crazy on this name. So widen your stops, have an idea that this could move a heck of a lot on you, and then don't fight the tape. So I knew I was going to be in both directions on this one at some point. It just turns out I got out of the long a little bit early, but 44 is sort of looming to the top end here for potential break. I just have that CTIB, small cap, and RETO that I will sit in sort of comfortably. But I do want to go back over to, if I can find you, where are you? Yeah, there's that Home Depot. I wanted to go back. We show our winners and our losers. So, and again, this is going to happen. Like I was looking at the breakup in Home Depot. It had just bounced off this low, so made this snap down, last leg downside, breaks back up above 260, so I take it. I go tight stop here because of where the futures were at that moment. If it had broken to the downside, I didn't want to get caught. But if I actually give it to the low of the day, which is only like 250, which is a more reasonable trade when you think about it, you take the entire move up. So you get like, forget about VWAP, but you go to the next cluster level, that's like 264. So that's like $3-4 to risk, 1.5 to 2. Probably should have done it instead of just playing off of the futures on that trade. So it's going to be a losing one for me and Home Depot. But we got to show you the winners and the losers and the reasons why. And I'll certainly revisit that and find something at that particular time when the market had already bounced, if something had lagged, have a little more faith in it that it's going to catch up, especially if it holds that low, which Home Depot ended up doing just without me.
Okay, wow. We are back from the dead here. I like a 48 break, maybe NEO starting to get a little bit weak there. 48.75 high side, it's moved a lot, man. So on a 48 break, let's try a little tester short on NEO and see if we can't get it back to 47 or so. This market has just gone off. Like, it's been a great market here today, just battling back. Like, you can't, straight down, pick the bottom, straight back up. There's been some decent winners. My biggest mistake, of course, was getting out of CCIV here on this consolidation. That was, I loved the longs. These are the levels that we wrote down. I even wrote down 39s, 36.50s on the board there as well. So a lot of things. Palantir 27 was a key level. You could see, it's at 27 now, but this was a great little dip buy at the bottom there. The only thing that, I think that we really screwed up was going short here on AMD, just expecting the market to turn over. But right now, the market, 13,100, like it could go even higher right now. So let's just wait to see before I get into anything short. 13,100 could break here on the market. And if that does, then yeah, we're going to have to regroup a little bit and or 13,100 to the upside, or it could break down. So let's get short some NEO, I think.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. Like, have a plan of action, craft it, be calm and collected at this time, and getting to 11 o'clock. And we are trying to turn around now. I talked about ZOM, and it never really. It had already made this move, so like it had already gone to that 210. So it's not like I could have had that because that's in hindsight, and you guys were the ones that were talking about this particular name. But now here comes the rollover below $2, and if I can play off a 2 to 205 area, it's not as good as the top. But I'll go ahead and take my shot here, and I'll try to be passive on this one if I can. But if it comes to it, I might just take a 95 if that's the only price I can get. But I'm just trying to work into this one. It just broke down 198 here, was a bit of a retracement low. I was just able to get 196. So if I can get, like 98s, 99s, maybe some 01s and 02s, something along those lines in front of 05. But I want that lower high to work for me here instead of giving it to 210 because I missed the first move. I'm not going to get overly aggressive with the less than perfect trade, I should say, or the less than perfect entry. But starting it here at 96, it's already slid down a couple of pennies, so probably a good idea that I got some early. And wow, speaking of early, it is not early anymore. It's already 11:01. Time for a European update. Let's go to Miss V.
Hey guys, European markets are mixed at this hour, mostly in the negative territory. Russia is closed for the holiday. Spain is up 1.76%. France is up 0.16%. Germany is down 0.72%. And Britain is up 0.24%. Earlier today, we received a super chat for Rolls-Royce. So guys, Rolls-Royce trading in London is up 1.7%, powered by the UK's preparations for exiting lockdown measures. Back to the traders.
Right, yeah, Rolls-Royce. I mean, look, another beat-down name there that if you're trying to pick it up on the cheap, RR.LO. Also RYCEY on the pink sheets as well. You could take that name. Okay, so we're going to average into this short now. I mean, obviously the market is ripping back up. We did take a little bit there. We are taking a little bit more now and just going to use some of these tops here on NEO because, look, if it wants to break, it breaks. If it breaks 49, then we will get out. So right now, 49 break on NEO. Look at the futures, man, just ripping back to the high side. So, yeah, I mean, normally, like I said, I was bearish today, which was right early, and all I was doing was longing. And now that I feel like the market's overextended a little bit here, we're digging into some shorts. So right now, NEO on the short side of things, let's see. It's out of the money right now, 30 pennies. And yeah, if it just continues to go upside, we got to eventually get some out because if we break that 49, there's going to be a problem. That's going to be my out, $49 here on NIO.
So I'm going to throw a cautionary note out here, guys. This CTIB, and I keep shorting these pops. It consolidates pops. I short when it makes a turn. I get like 33, and then it's bouncing above VWAP, guys. So it's managing to hold some of these levels, and that's going to be a big-time caution for me. It looks like it might get going and get strong again, especially above like 440, 450. So as much as and I'm literally saying this as I'm like, 4 or 5 cents in the money, and this is a decent scalp trade. But there's a good part of me that actually wants to, and if I'm saying it, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to take it all out for a small win. And again, it's just one of those. Sometimes you have to go with your gut. These are higher lows getting put in, and each time I short the pop, it's like I essentially get like 10 cents out of a 20-cent move. This time I got a good one here. 24s down to like 05s, 06s, and 10s, which is essentially almost the best price. But then suddenly you see this trend. It's like, okay, well, I keep shorting higher and higher and higher, and then it keeps making lows that are higher and higher and higher. Maybe I'm in the wrong direction. So I'm going to walk away from CTIB unless it tests back up closer to that 5 even, which I know is going to be a good level. And then watch out for that ZOM. We started that position below the $2 mark. Now remember, I don't want to give this one to the high a day. I'm only looking at that 205 range. I haven't had a chance to add above $2. It just got here now. So my average price still was actually 97.5. It got a bit of a midpoint fill on one of those. And then I'm going to try and get like 02s, maybe 03s if I can get it. 205 for me is going to be the stop on ZOM. Again, don't want to get to a high a day. CCIV is still trying to test towards that 44 for a break. It got to 94, but has not broken just yet, so no entry there. Brendan?
I was just checking on TJX. Looks like this last little high here, probably 71. We did get above 71 there, so not something I was expecting to say today, guys, but TJX is at, or was at, all-time highs today.
We did have Macy's and everything. We had
Yep.
some good little moves today. So yeah, TJ Maxx. Here, let's just check out Macy's quickly. Oh yeah, so it's just positive as well, just turning positive. What a great bottom. I mean, everything was a great bottom. Everything was on sale completely in the first 15 minutes today. Anything you picked up, the chart's going to look very, very similar to this. So congratulations on anybody that did that. Macy's to the backside there. Good trade, solid. I think they've cut their dividend, but we'll find out. I think it's still intact a little bit, but Macy's up to $15.40. That seems like a good buy as well, guys.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And just going to go back over to, if I can, that Churchill, just to show you. Look, this is going to be one of those stocks. It's hard to get away from this type of volatility as a day trader. If I was in addition to taking some of these breakout trades, right? So you get like 38 break, you get that top end break at 39.50. If in addition to that, I was shorting every single one of those, there was essentially a quick little scalp trade the first time it meets that price. And the same thing has happened here at 44 and 94. So you just made $1 here if you took it. But I found I'm going to stick to this. Just having a short-term bias in each direction and only going in that way has worked out a little bit better for me. You're a little more focused. So if I only play the long break instead of messing around in both directions against the tape, I just feel like it's easier to get all of those better trades, manage them a little better, be confident about the levels instead of second guessing myself if I want to play every single level in either direction. It can get a little bit, you can start to overthink things a little bit there and then favor one when you shouldn't be. So I'm going to stay with the long bias as long as we're in this trend and go with it might be the last breakout for me if it takes that 44. But for now, that's all I'm going to do. Sometimes in this chart setup, and you've seen me talk about this before, I'd be looking to fade off a level like this and short in front of it. And it does look like it's giving you that setup, but I just don't want to play the short end of this trade while it's been in this upward trend on CCIV. I told you this morning I did not want to fight the tape on it, so it's one direction at a time for me.
Okay, so NEO came all the way back. We did have an offer up there at 70, didn't get filled. We had to hold that against us up to 29s or whatever that price was. 49s was going to be our hold there, but we didn't get out. So we still are waiting for this to move back to the downside. It sucks, man, because I was 5 cents away from getting a short there on NEO back 48.66. I tried to get that. It goes as high as like 48. I don't know, how high did that go? 48.56, sorry, a dime away from getting that great trade on, but that's okay. 48.07 right now on NEO, so let's wait to see. I don't have any bids again until the 80s, so we'll see if we get back down there, and then I am looking at a 46 bottom, so hopefully that can come into play, and then we'll be ringing a whole bunch of registers on that one, guys, and that is going to be NEO. If that can come in, man, one of my stocks that was pretty negative on early, obviously we liked some of those 46s, and good reason. I mean, look, the market hammered it down, but NEO just goes back up now. Still down that 5%, but still higher than where we opened. So I think there's some retracement possibilities here in NEO, and then now we'll take a little bit off because it does come back down to 48, and now we'll wait to see. Like I said, there's the 80 bottom, so we'll see if we get some out there. Then after that, we'll wait for some 47s. I think we can get it.
Absolutely, that's what I love to see, and I'm going to go with, I don't know, this key for you guys here. Those are Bitcoins, by the way, if you can't tell. But this stock is RETO, and I'm going to always go over some of the slow-moving ones that are a bit easier for us to trade. I've been shorting basically every single pop here. This was the first stock that I traded when I sat down in the morning. It's a day 2 type of play. Shorted into VWAP. If I've made a mistake on the stock, it's right here. And again, it started to bounce back upside. And I took some shares off for what is actually like a small win at 75. And the idea being, yeah, I'm still holding it, but when it tests back up to this 280, I want to get more shares into the short, but I didn't get out as many as I wanted. So I took some off and then didn't get back in. Then it gives you this little flush here at 270. And I'm still holding some of these shorts at 74 as it goes down to like 250. But that's a huge missed opportunity, shorting off the same level that we were in the pre-market. That was one of my best. Actually, my best trade this morning on retail was this particular short here at 830 at 280. I used the same level once. I miss it again, and this is what you don't want to do. If you have a price area that's working for you and a stock that you've got a good read on, go back to the well. You'll see Sean do that time and time again, whether it's NEO or Palantir, and there's a reason we talk about it, because if you find an edge, you just beat the heck out of it as many times as you can, guys. So I missed that shot there in RETO. If it eventually takes out this 240 range, hopefully we can get back to that 210, 220, where I took off 0 shares on the way down. I let this entire retracement go at 930. Why? Because I was caught up in CCIV. And then the last like 10%, I was essentially just giving up profits and holding all the way back until that reentry. Not going to do that again.
All right, guys, so it is less than right now 5 minutes. We're going to have Craig Taylor, CEO, Alex Knox, board advisor, Defense Metals coming up. So get ready. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat, and we will figure out what their business is all about. An exciting opportunity to get involved there. NEO does come all the way back down, and I'm just going to hold this one. I've talked about that over and over for you guys. So we're just going to hold NEO until it breaks 49. If it does that, then see you later. We'll get out, but I do like NEO here. My next bid is in the 80s, so I'm just going to be holding that one. I don't know if I'll take any more trades. I don't have a great read on these futures, as right now it looks like it's bouncing back upside. So again, like NEO's been trading really well for me off some of these bottoms. A lot of this stuff makes sense. I've blown it on AMD, so I'm going to stick with this stock. I just think NEO, again, from being down 17% to only being down 4%, I think there's some room here to capture a little bit of another move back down, at least to 47. So that's what we're going to hold out for, 47 on NEO, guys.
There you go. And it's all about, like, when you say holding out, it's all about, I call it just being patient or finding your A-plus type setups on this type of a day when you get the market screaming. So obviously it's unlikely that we do nothing and go sideways throughout lunchtime and through the rest of the day. There's going to be some moves to be had. I'm just looking at Twitter here because you've got to start to pick out some names that you like maybe for a few lunchtime trades, and this one stuck out. It was on my board here, and I was looking this morning at a 69, a 30 type level for a fade trade, and again it popped into that price and then rolled off. I was not going to do anything but like CCIV and like CTIB at the same time, guys. So I can't get into Twitter as well. But now above that price, and it's going to be possibly support. I'm watching this level here, 70 even. So you get the crazy bounce back up. Twitter's another one that goes 10% back up to the upside. Flat on the day right now, 70.50 close, so just slightly down actually. And you look at this 70. If the market turns and you get a rollover here, sort of throw away everything you might like about Twitter and just say, pure momentum play through 70, I can probably scalp that down to 69.30 to 50, which was that pre-market break, which was that resistance. A lot of chop in there, so there is liquidity around 69 to 69.30. So I will definitely be looking for that quick little momentum short on a breakdown trade here in Twitter, if we can get it through 70 even. ZOM is now at a $1.92, so I guess I should do a little something, guys. And let's go with this. Even though I think it's freaky, you guys let me know what you think about that one. I think it's a little bit freaky, but either way, a winning trade is a winning trade, and the money does come through on ZOM. And a big shout out and thanks to you guys in the community. I've traded it before, but I did not notice this one today, despite the massive move, and you guys threw it into the chat. I love the setup on the chart. I didn't get the 2010, but this consolidation here at $2 I was able to take, and just got some out at 91s and 92s. I'm going to try to get the rest out here in front of this nice little level, 185, which was pre-market flush price. Resistance pullback, buy at a dip price as well. So I like those types of setups. It'll give you like that 10 to 15 cent range win, guys.
And there it is, guys. Belly dancing some victories on NEO. We get out at that 80 level there. Now we're holding half of the trade. So it does go down to 80. We get out there for a nice little win, 40 cents on NEO. And now we wait, man. We're just going to wait to see where this level goes from here. I do think that there is obviously an opportunity to go downside on NEO. And I still have that 47 staring that right in the face. So that's the only trade I have right now. We're going to watch NEO and hopefully that comes to the downside. I'm excited for the interview. Oh, Len, damn it. Look at AMC, guys, what AMC's been doing here. Up to 7 again. We had that long, and then it breaks 75, and then I guess that was on that wick. I don't even know if we should have got out there. I don't think I would have got out at 75 if I averaged in at 85, but there it goes, AMC to the top side. Look, I know this is a meme stock, but we could watch out for 720 again break. It resists that right here. So right now, AMC to the high side. I do like this name, guys, if it breaks through 720. So if that happens while we're in the interview, I'll probably take that trade. AMC, man. CCIV is the one that's pissing me off the most today. And then QS as well. We had some beautiful bottoms. Great trade there. And thank you so much. Another super chat coming through. Rock Doc, is Bitcoin following TSA or TSLA following Bitcoin? Neither, in my opinion, but we'll do some more work on that. Thank you for that. Remember, Bitcoin, and I talked to this to Brendan yesterday, you guys may believe it or not, but Bitcoin actually follows the market. So you'll probably see Bitcoin get tanked off in the morning. Now the market's coming back and you're seeing Bitcoin come back. It's just overall sentiment for asset classes, guys. That's Bitcoin. Guest of the day, Brendan. Take her, bud.
All right, thank you, guys. Yeah, the demand for rare earth metals continues to increase almost on a daily basis to a point where a lot of people don't really understand how many things we use on a day-to-day basis contain these rare earth metals. We're going to have a really interesting discussion today. Craig Taylor, CEO, and Alex Knox, board advisor for Defense Metals, joining us. Gentlemen, good to have you on the show. Craig, I'll come to you first. Tell us a little bit about the company and where we got to start, and then how we kind of shifted as far as the focus for the company with this increased demand on a daily basis, as I mentioned, for these rare earth metals.
Well, yeah, thanks very much. It's good to be on. Yeah, it's a very exciting time to be in the rare earth space, as you mentioned. So Defense Metals, we've de-risked and advanced our deposit over the past 2 years to the point where we have one of the richest neodymium and praseodymium deposits in North America. In terms of size and grade. So neodymium and praseodymium, or NdPr for short, they're the key rare earth elements in producing very high strength, lightweight magnets. So these magnets can be found in many of our day-to-day products, such as computers, cell phones, refrigeration systems, medical equipment, and the list really goes on. However, the big driver in the space right now is the electric vehicle and green energy explosion. So NdPr magnets are found in every single electric vehicle motor, every wind turbine, and maglev train produced. So they're found in countless military products as well, such as F-35 fighter jets, Trident submarines, guidance systems, and about our deposit. So we're located 70 kilometers from Prince George, BC, which is a mining hub in central British Columbia. Our deposit has road access, water, electricity on site. There's a railway head 20 kilometers away. And our proximity to this infrastructure is very important as it brings our CapEx down considerably compared to most rare earth deposits. And so we've taken a 30-ton bulk sample in early 2019 and shipped this ore to SGS Labs for metallurgical testing, which is very important in the rare earth space. So SGS completed a flotation and hydromet testing and came back with really world-class results. So we then completed a 2,000-meter drill program in the summer of 2019, and we hit on 13 of 13 holes drilled. And so this gave us enough data to essentially double the metal value of our overall resource and the confidence to build a flotation pilot plant then with SGS to prove that we can produce high-grade concentrate on a commercial level. So that's sort of what we've done in the past. Our future plans for 2021 include a PEA to be completed in the first half of the year. We'll do then a hydromet pilot plant that will be complete by June, and a drill program scheduled by July, followed up by another increased resource. So there's only a handful of viable rare earth deposits in North America as compared to, say, gold or silver or copper. And there's hundreds of companies in those spaces. So I believe we've been one of the most active of these rare earth companies over the past 2 years, and we'll continue to advance and de-risk our deposit through 2021.
It's an exciting time, as we mentioned, and I want to talk a little bit about the actual metal itself, and maybe we can bring in Alex here and discuss a little bit about the difference specifically when it comes to some of these rare earth metals. For those who are unaware, you know, maybe compare them to something more commonly found in mine, like copper or any of the more commonly found metals. And it's the processing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that does differentiate this.
Yes, exactly. There are 14 different rare earth metals, and they all occur together in any rare earth deposit. Any rare earth deposit on Earth contains all 14. So the ratios between these rare earths may differ based from deposit to deposit. So if you're mining a copper deposit, how it's typically done is that you crush the ore, extract the copper-bearing mineral, and then smelt it to release the copper and sell it. In a rare earth deposit, because all 14 rare earths occur in the same deposit, there's one extra step. So you start off by mining the ore, extracting the minerals that contain the rare earths, but then you have, and then smelt them to produce a rare earth oxide, mixed rare earth oxide. But then there's another step where you must take that mixed rare earth oxide and send it to a separation plant where the individual rare earths are separated from one another, and those that are economically viable can then be sold as a pure rare earth oxide. The process of this purification it's well known. It's been done since the 1970s, but it's rather capital intensive. And now governments, both in Canada and the United States, have decided that they want to get into the rare earth separation business so that they can provide a domestic source of rare earths for all these applications that Craig had mentioned. So that one extra step is rather capital intensive, and now it looks like the governments, both in Canada and the United States, are going to endeavor to make these rare earth separation plants available, and that makes the economics of mining rare earths profitably so much greater.
Craig Taylor and Alex Knox joining us from Defense Metals. Gentlemen, when we talk a little bit about the quality of both the product coming out of the ground and the mine itself, from a market perspective, how is the actual quality of both the mine and the metals determined?
Yeah, so we've achieved a very high grade deposit. It's 3% LREO, and we've got 17 million tons of ore to draw from in this current resource. We're expecting to expand on that, but those are world-class numbers, and they compare to really the only mine that's producing in North America. It has over $1 billion market cap, and that's MP Materials or Mountain Pass. And coincidentally, Alex has done a lot of work with that company in the past before it was Mountain Pass, and maybe he can talk to the differences in the deposits or the similarities.
Yes.
Yeah, so both deposits, Mountain Pass and Washita, Defense Metals, they both occur in the same kind of rock, a dolomite carbonatite. Both deposits contain the mineral bastosite, which is a rare earth fluorocarbonate. The Washita deposit also contains monazite. All of these rare earth minerals have been the cracking of these minerals to produce the rare earth oxides has been done for many years in the past. So we're not inventing a new technology. The remaining resource at Mountain Pass is about the same size as the Washita deposit, so they're about the same size. One of the differences is that Mountain Pass has been mined since 1952 and extensively since the 1970s. And since it dips gently into the ground, the stripping ratio at Mountain Pass, according to a recent MP prospectus, is about 5 to 1. So they have to remove about 5 tons of ore 5 tons of waste to recover 1 ton of ore. The stripping ratio at the Washita deposit, since it occurs on a small hill and outcrops under very shallow layer of soil, should be much better, and therefore the economics of extracting and the cost of extracting a ton of rare earth ore from Washita should be much more favorable than presently exists at Mountain Pass, due to the fact that Mountain Pass has been in production for over 40 years.
We mentioned recently there was an investment made by the Department of Defense in the U.S. into this space and into this sector. You spoke briefly earlier in regards to the rarity of these metals in North America specifically. What does the investment from the U.S. government into this space mean for a company like Defense Metals?
Well, this is going to be critical for us and the whole space going forward. You know, right now, 80% of rare earth production is done in China, and that's really problematic for the West, seeing as China can now absorb all of their production internally, and they're threatening to cut off supplies to the West or weaponize rare earths, as they say. So the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been working with 3 processors in the U.S., one being Mountain Pass, one being Energy Fuels, and the other Linus, to fund processing plants in the U.S. so that we're not reliant on China. There's another one in Canada, SRC, who's been funded by the Canadian government in hopes of doing the same. So we would be a natural feed for all four of those scenarios, and that gives us a customer locally, and we would be a potential mine locally to feed those processing plants.
So when it comes to the space itself, you just mentioned a few of the participants in the rare earth metals space. What sets defense metals apart here? Why defense metals in regards to better quality, better proximity to a mine? Why defense metals when we talk about this space?
Well, one thing about defense metals, and it's very important in the rare earth space, is that the minerals which contain the rare earths are rather coarse grained in this deposit, and certainly coarser grained than the average you would find in the rare earth space. This coarse grain mineralization combined with the high grade makes the processing very efficient. The recoveries are much better when a mineral is coarse in a rock than when it's fine. So this coarse grain, the simple mineralogy, and the relatively high grade are both going to make the capital costs and the processing costs for the Washita deposit much lower than you'll see for some deposits that are finer grained. And Mountain Pass is certainly a finer grained deposit in terms of the rare earth minerals than Washita. So it's a natural advantage that Washita uniquely possesses in especially the Canadian space and North American space to allow the cheap and easy processing at high recoveries so that the rare earth concentrate can be made effectively and with significant recovery. So that's a real advantage of this deposit.
Listed on the TSX, guys, here in Toronto. DEFN is the ticker. OTC markets, you can check them out. DFMTF as well. Craig Taylor and Alex Knox from Defense Metals. Appreciate your time today. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at the rare earth metal space, something that is going to become more and more popular as we continue along the road that we're currently on, using all of these devices that have these things in them on a daily basis, guys.
Thanks a lot, and we learned a lot about that. And look, I mean, learning about the company, learning about the space is fantastic. But I'd be remiss if I didn't just put up the daily chart for you guys, and it speaks for itself here at DFN on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto, guys. So look, I think it was a fantastic guest, and I saw some people asking about different metals and talking about tungsten. So I got to throw this one out there because I'll out myself for being the most simple person in the world. I wear a tungsten ring, which is, when you're cheap, that's the way to go. Literally indestructible, people, but it does mean if I want to play sports, I have to take it off because I wouldn't want to lose my finger if something happened there. But anyways, that's just me talking nonsense. I want to go back because we only have a couple of minutes till the end of the show, just to review a couple of things that have happened. Look, it's been a crazy morning. You'll see V-shapes like they were going out of style. If you find me a stock that doesn't have a shape like this, and I'll be incredibly surprised. But you guys brought ZOM to my attention, so I want to thank you guys for that. I got most of my targets out here down to like 187. I got a couple that did not fill at 86 and 85, and I talked about this chop zone to be my out, and it is bouncing back to the upside. If it comes back and tests, I will not reshort it at 2. That's close enough, and I'm really only holding the last 20% anyway. So if it breaks 2 even, I'll get out. It's a 99 short that I have, my last entry point. So nice trade on ZOM, and thank you guys for reminding me that this one was on the move. Brennan.
All right, guys, a few minutes to go here. Let's have a look at some earnings. Yes, we are still in earnings season. Oh, wow. It is a busy one tonight and before the open tomorrow.
Okay, so McAfee recent IPO, we don't talk about that enough. That could be in play maybe.
Well, Square.
Yeah, we do have RBC. There's some Canadian action banks there. Yeah, I see Square right in the middle, and I see Overstock. So, I mean, there's Six Flags. Like, there's a lot of rebound plays that I'm seeing in here as well. So, it should be a good one. I just wanted to give a quick question to Brendan. Brendan, because I know there was some talk on the chat. We didn't get enough time to talk to Defense Metals. But in your preparation, was there any talk of possible uplist or anything like that? I know there was a few people asking that maybe can't access Pink Sheets or the Canadian Venture.
Yeah, well, we can definitely pass that along to them and get an answer for you guys. I am not aware at this point, but yes, I'll definitely pass that along and get that answer for you.
Okay, great. Neo, guys, we did take that dollar win, so Superman is back in the building. We turned positive on the day, and I mean, I was infinitely negative there. And by infinitely, I don't mean infinitely, because that means I'd be finished. But the account was getting close there, and we brought it back to all the way to positive. So I'm pretty happy. It wasn't a money bag kind of day, but now we are at 2 times daily goals. So happy with that, but yeah. Big time day today, and I just feel exhausted already. Over 287 trades.
You win. You got me by 81. So look, it's been an active day. It's been a lot of fun. But there is one thing we can do before we get out of here. You know, we got to do it. Got to go to Miss V for our National Day.
Hey guys, thank you very much for trading with us this morning. You make our everyday better, and I still don't give up that we can get 5,000 likes. Counting, we're very close. We need just 800 more likes. And guys, if you didn't like this video yet, please click the like button right now. And happy National Banana Bread, everyone.
Hit the like just for that. Banana bread is absolutely delicious. Although we made a banana, it was a cake the other day. I thought it was bread until I ate a bite, and my wife made it. It was like, no, this is a cake. It's not bread. I ate way too much, and it was super, super sweet. But I'm a huge, huge fan of banana bread, banana muffins. I put peanut butter on it because I'm weird, but I'll take it any way I can get it. And if you think that is way too weird, then hit the like for that reason alone. What are your thoughts there, Sean, on banana bread?
I'd hit the like on the weirdness. I never heard that. I don't think it's too weird because banana and peanut butter. Obviously, shout out to Elvis Presley there. A big
one. Nice, you got that one. Sweet, sweet.
Of course I got that one, yeah. Okay, so Neo right now, $1 in the money and more than $1 in the money. But I love banana bread. I like it with walnuts and stuff inside. So I think you got to get a little creative there. I love banana bread, love carrot bread, love zucchini loaf as well. That's a little undercover there. We grow too many zucchinis. Obviously, I'm Italian in the garden there. Brendan, you a loaf kind of guy?
Why not? Yeah, I agree though. Walnuts, chocolate chips, the whole nine. Put it all in there.
Let's go. Put it all in there. We try to put everything into the show every single day. Hope we succeed. I mean, on the way out, guys, let's put a smile on Miss V's face and get to that 5,000. It's like, do we have to bribe you each time? Do I have to do one-arm push-ups next time? I probably can't, so we're not going to do that anyways. But let's try to get there. Put a smile on everyone's face. Thank you so much for participating. You guys are the best community out there. We love trading for you guys live, and what an unbelievable market move this was to have witnessed and be able to trade for you guys. For the entire team right down the line from Miss V, from Sean Katina, for Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you guys tomorrow.